Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the QLS show. We're back for the BBL again. This matchup, Brisbane Heat versus Melbourne Renegades. Now the weather's looking a little bit shaky, so I hope it stays fine enough for them to get the full 20 overs in. But currently we are back to the setup that we had yesterday. I haven't actually got sound though tonight, unfortunately. PC doesn't want me to hear the game, but that's all right because we have got this game just about to take place. Brisbane Heat, they will be bowling first in this matchup. Should clarify. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I didn't turn on the light. One moment. There we go. Now it's nice and bright. We're ready to go for ball. Oh no, Sam Harper's walked away. Okay, no ball one. I'm going to put the headphones on anyway, just so that I can look a bit more normal. There we go. Now it looks like I'm listening to something. And also, hello. Says CNX, welcome in, mate. And also, hi, Hamish. Question for you, Hamish. What is your best BBL of last year? Oh, best game entertainment-wise was probably that matchup. Where was it? The Brisbane Heat got bowled out cheaply. Then the Sydney Sixers almost also got bowled out cheaply, but then they came back to win after a very good partnership between Abbott and DeWarshus. That was probably my favourite game in terms of entertainment value, and also a few of those other games have gone relatively close. We have got Amelia in the chat. As said, hi, welcome in. Hope you're doing all right. Now, we are still on the couch, which means later on we may have guests. Can't guarantee it yet. Depends on what time they get back from the work outing and also how many beverages have been consumed at said work outing. But Xavier Bartlett bowling the first over. This matchup between the Brisbane Heat and the Melbourne Renegades hit to the leg side by Harper. He's managed to pierce the field. Going to be going relatively quickly, but it's pulled up. Playing at Casaleas Stadium in Cairns. Hopefully I said that correctly, but we're just going to quickly check the weather report for Cairns as well. Is this cricket, says Greg Livingstone? It is indeed. Although the scoreboard is not updating one, mate. We'll go over here and we'll go like that. There we go. Sorted. Scoreboard now should be updating at 7 IQ. He says, Ryan, welcome in. And why is no green screen? Mainly because it wouldn't fit behind the couch, I think is the best way of describing it. Yes, that was a naughty, saucy game. Have had a good day, says Elon. 189 for 5 from Brandon there. Because, I mean, I could have put the green screen up for around the couch type thing, but then we'd still have the window that would be ungreen screened, which would be slightly unfortunate. Not as unfortunate as if it rains for this match. Whereas Mum, she's currently on the bevies. She's getting absolutely trolley. No, she's not. It's the work do, though. So the Christmas breakup, she probably will consume a fair bit of alcohol, to be fair. The boss is paying. But you might get to see her later on when they get home from being out and about. That is Mum and Dad currently away. I've picked up the car, so they are going to be walking home. Or anyone asks about that. Oops, I accidentally put in Crow's Nest, wherever that is. Cairns in Queensland, they've got extreme heat. And it's looking like it should rain later on, but not at this current point in time, which is good news for us there. I see it straight out to the fielder end of... Oh, no. What's that? They've actually managed to run at least one there. Some terrible fielding. I'm not saying what happened in Season 3 and Hamish Guptill playing. I don't believe so. I believe that he's allowed to come in once Andre Russell has gone, and Andre Russell, I think, leaves after about 10 games or so. So Guptill will only get the second half of the BBL. And is this in Cairns? It is indeed. A little bit of a laugh on the face of Colin Munro there after misfielding badly. Bit of an in-swinger. Wouldn't be a live stream in the summer without a sneeze. Hay fever is a lovely thing. But yeah, in Cairns, I know they have an extreme heat wave, but it looks like 29 degrees and also the chance of even being hotter over the next couple of days. So we've seen a few thunderstorms. They had the covers on the pitch relatively late. And I was like, Hamish, Colin Munro playing or not in all caps. So he's shouting at there, Ryan. Yes, he is, Ryan. Gotta do the shouting back. It's only fair. And bushfires in Shortland Street, all gone by look at, says Brandon. That's going to be worked to the leg side by Sammy Harper. Should be racing to the boundary, but it's a long one and just makes it. In fact, still no fielder there. Stickety had to fly after that one, but not able to get to it. Nice shot from Sam Harper. Moves up to 8 runs off 4 deliveries into the first over. Renegades now sitting 10 for none. A very good start. Nick Maddinson. He is the captain of the Melbourne Renegades, not by the sounds of it the player that a lot of Renegades actually want to have as their captain. Did get the nod for this game and throughout most of the season, I believe. Will be the captain of their side, but we are going to see a new Brisbane Heat. The fact they haven't got Chris Lynn anymore, Finch still playing after retirement, BBL not opening. Says coding, I believe he's still at least in their squad. I'll just check to see if he's in their lineup. Yeah, he is. He's actually going to be batting number 4 by the looks of it. They've got Jake Fraser McGurk, man who's known for taking that absolute screamer last BBL, the one-handed catch. Then it goes Aaron Finch, John O'Wells, Andre Russell, Akil Hussain, Will Sutherland, Tom Rogers, Kane Richardson, and then Majip going to be closing out the batting lineup. If they get that deep, though, they're probably in a little bit of trouble at that point. Charging in now, Mark Stickety. Bowling the next over. A bit of a cross-bat slog from Nick Maddinson. Not able to get onto that ball. It was wide outside off stump, so he decided he'd try a pull shot for that delivery. Also, Hamish, why Matthew... Oh, sorry, I should be shouting a little bit high. We'll just not shout it, though. Why Matthew Renshaw and Jake Wildermouth not playing? Says Ryan there. Well, for the Brisbane Heat, I assume they're trying out a few of their other options, maybe just for this game. I know that Renshaw's very close to that Australian Test side, so I don't know if he's travelling with the team, but maybe because he's so close to getting that chance, they've decided to not use him in this game. Plus, he could be a super sub option in the near future. Matty Renshaw. Stickety's certainly playing. He's been around for a little while. Yesterday at thumbnail looked like same like last year, says Brandon. That is true. It's very similar for the BBL live stream. I decided if I already have a thumbnail made, that's going to be exactly the same layout as what I'm going to use this year. I might as well use that one again. You know, working smarter, not harder. But some of them I do have to, like this thumbnail with Sam Billing and also... I believe, yeah, I went Billings and Andre Russell, so I did have to go with 2 new players. This one, that's going to be a nice shot, though. Sam Harper gets another boundary, already moving up to 12 runs off 5 deliveries, looking to go flying at the moment. Hamish, good news. Says Ryan there. On races to the boundary. Well, Stickety already gone for 7 runs. It looks like the Renegades going to be relatively aggressive in their approach throughout their power play. Get as many runs on the board as they can early. Interesting that Sam Billings doesn't have the gloves on, but I guess when they've got Jimmy Pearson, probably gets that nod just because he's been at the club a little bit longer, Jimmy Pearson. Harper still moving at a strike rate of 200, though, even though he's played a miss at that one. Andre Russ is a replacement for Guptill, says Amelia. So, yeah, pretty much, I believe, is it 10 games or so, Amelia, that Andre Russell's going to be there, or three or 4 weeks, and then Guptill comes in after Andre Russell leaves. I think is the system that they've got at the moment. Wide outside of off stump. Throwing the hands out at Harper. He's just managed to pierce the gap. Get through for the single. 1 ball left. And currently they have got that left-hand, right-hand combination, which does mean they do have to keep on changing their field each time that they get themselves a single. New Zealand Ish Sodhi is back for New Zealand squad for a test match versus Pakistan, says Ryan there. And also what is 5,663 divided by 3 times 2. And Bev's mass back, says Brandon. Tell you what, I've had cricket practice tonight. My brain is not running quickly, that's for sure. So 7. No, it's not 7, but I actually absolutely nailed some maths yesterday, which I know sounds like such a nerdy statement, but I believe it was putting together about 4 different numbers, and I managed to get it, even though they had like cents and dollars and whatnot involved in there as well. Still managed to somehow get it. Right, we're going to test out something here. If I go like this. And now you guys should be able to hear me again. Hopefully that worked out not too bad. Like I mentioned, hay fever sucks. But I was outside today, so I feel like it's going to be well and truly in effect. And big old boy Russell, he's a big boy, much bigger than his cousin Finn Russell, although we can see similarities. And yeah, both skilled individuals maybe. Big similarity there. And France versus Argentina final, says Ryan, it is. And yeah, your cap lock's still stuck on, Ryan, at the moment. Hay fever sack. says Brandon. Plus, this Zombies Battle for Neighborhood never coming back yet. Wait, never come back yet. There's Brandon McMadison down the leg side. Didn't need to play at that one. Another wide from Xavier Bartlett. Also, Hamish tomorrow, Croatia versus Morocco, says Ryan. Will be an interesting game. So 3rd place on the line. Kind of two sides there. Whoa, that's a shot. That ball swung beautifully back into that shot for Nick Madison. Hits it down the ground. Gets the 4 runs. Gets the fist bump from Sammy Harper. Wouldn't have cleared a man if there was one in the deep, though. Which might be slightly concerning for Nick Madison later on in the game. But for now, with the field up, there's gaps all over the place, and he has found one there. Hay fever is a stain on summer, says Elon there. Although I always do say, if I'm sneezing flat out with hay fever, it means we've got nice weather. So at least some people will get to enjoy it without sneezing. But I'd rather be sneezing so that everyone can enjoy the summer with the warm weather than be not sneezing at all and realize that it's just been pretty much raining and cold. That's a 6 from Nick Madison. He's certainly got more of that one. Moving up to 14 runs off 7 deliveries. Actually going at a quicker strike rate than Sam Harper now. Power bar gets to 83 metres. And then Xavier Bartlett, he was steaming into the crease. It was outside of off stump. Nick Madison, he's known for playing across the line. And he's done that once again there. But currently, like, this is 2 evenings in a row that I've actually not had a jersey on or a hoodie on, which is quite handy. Some to me is rain not joining, says Brandon there. Xavier Bartlett now. 30 runs already off 2.2 overs. Nicely hit almost through the cover region. It does hit it straight out to the man there. And also big love, lads and lasses, says Sebastian. Welcome in, mate. I thought with the way that the weather was looking on this that we might have gotten a chance of playing Cricket 19 or Cricket 22. It seems like for now the weather is staying not too bad. It was supposed to rain for Cairns pretty much throughout the next 10 days, but for now it's not looking too bad, which is good news. Gonna have to do this again. Hay fever, gotta love it. That's another big shot from Nick Madison. Clears the field. Gonna be 3 bounces for 4. In a nice way. Still put the pressure on Xavier Bartlett. Like I mentioned, I had cricket practice tonight, so being outside, sneezing's going to fire up a little bit more. And also, we have got there what the hell is going on. The Heat screwed themselves in the first 3 overs, says Aiden. Well, it's not so much bad bowling to an extent for some of the deliveries. Like, that's in the slot. It's gone pretty high, and it's gone for another 6 into the crowd. Nick Madison now moves up to 24 runs off 10 deliveries, but Xavier Bartlett's not getting it right. I thought Stickety's over was pretty solid. They still managed to get about 10 runs off it, though. Now Bartlett's gone for 30 off 1.5, also known as 11 balls. Power bar there. That one's gone 82 metres. Nick Madison is getting it out of the middle of the bat at the moment, hitting it towards the Brisbane Heat dugout, just to add insult to injury. It's just that flick of the wrists right when he's about to connect. And Hamish, just don't talk about rain or it will come, says Brandon. It's like when when you're having a barbecue, never mention that you're having a barbecue to anyone, because or else then it will rain. Superstitious, maybe, but it has happened every time we've ever tried to have a barbecue and pre-planned it. It's going to be an emotional World Cup final. Message will be, or has so much pressure on his little shoulders, poor kid, says Elon there. And in the slot, no seam or swing whatsoever. There to be hit out of the ground. Good delivery, though, says Sebastian. Yeah, Bartlett's not getting it right. Stickety, though, to an extent. I feel like I was trying to look for the positives for Bartlett, and then he bowled the juiciest pie I think we've seen of the day that allowed Madison to just get right underneath it, given an almighty hoof. Looks like a decent crowd at the moment there in Cairns. And it is now going to be Kuhnemann coming into the bowling attack. 19 matches, 11 wickets, normally known as a bit of a part-time bowler for the Brisbane Heat. And can the umpires check if they use metal or something? Or if they use a metal or something? I think he's just got very strong wrists, Nick Madison, and that's why the ball's going absolutely miles for him. Kuhnemann, first delivery. Some playing off the back foot there. Sam Harper does get the single. I'm about to sneeze again. It's unfortunate weather, really. There we go. Get it out of the system. All that pollen. And also hay. To be fair, I actually did cart hay yesterday. So that's probably going to have a lasting effect. Have they had a 6 every over or something? WF is going on. You pretty much. They're going very quickly. I believe Stickety may not have had a 6 off him, but he had a couple boundaries, I believe. Passing down the wicket there, Nick Madison hits it to the leg side. They will get through for 2. Nice and comfortable running from the Melbourne Renegades. Bit of a rough throw to Jimmy Pearson. Goes low because Rugby 7's done now. At gaming time on Brandon channel. More Brandon Sports channel, maybe GTA 5 live stream. See, here's Brandon there. For me, it's sneezing time. Again, unfortunately. One moment, ladies and gentlemen. And that's another 4 runs for Nick Madison. Every time I mute, he hits a boundary. Advances down the track, gets it over the top of deep mid on, and just races away. I'm guessing the Heat's paying like $10 or more now. I don't know about $10, just because, yes, it's early on in the match and they're under pressure, but we haven't seen their power surge in use yet, the Melbourne Renegades. I have a quick look. See what it's sitting on? Well, we have to, unfortunately, do this again. I think Aaron Finch will be enjoying this because he's not having to have the stress of opening. Can watch these two, Madison and Harper, just smack it all around the park. And finally, there's some openers who realise that the power play is made for massive swings of the bat. This should be normal. Sebastian, I agree. Like, these guys have used it extremely well compared to some of the sides who only get about, what do we have? We've had 24 runs in a power play, 25, 28 or somewhere around there. It's just not really enough. When you look at how many gaps there are in the field, they should be getting plenty. Brisbane Heat currently $3.60 underdog, so not hugely down there. And also we've got the A covering South Africa versus Australia tomorrow. I don't believe tomorrow is the start of that test match, Brandon. I think it's the day after, if I'm not wrong. I think it starts on the Saturday, and we won't, unfortunately, be able to cover that first day because we are going to be playing cricket ourselves. But I'm thinking about getting the GoPro fired up and maybe trying to put it on my helmet while I'm batting, which will either go well or not so well. I'll either get a golden duck and have to send the bowler the footage, or I might get a few runs and get some content from it. One of the two. I'd take the second one, really. That would be ideal, right? Power surge is over. 50 runs on the board already for the Melbourne Renegades. But yeah, it does start on Saturday. Australia versus South Africa. Ross Whiteley for the Brisbane Heat, ready to go here. A little bit of a new name. Someone we haven't seen too much in Brisbane Heat colours anyway. Side of off stump, just glided by Nick Madison, goes straight to the fielder. Or the BBL tomorrow, says Brandon. So the BBL match tomorrow, I'll just have a quick look. I believe it involves the Perth Scorchers, if I'm not wrong. Is it a double header tomorrow? It is a double header tomorrow. Stars versus Hurricanes, Thunder versus Strikers, and then it's Scorchers versus Sixers on the Saturday. So we'll probably cover Stars Hurricanes. The problem is sometimes that second game overlaps a little bit too much with the first, and then you're in that scenario of missing the power surge of the second match. So it will probably depend on the Stars Hurricanes total. Will depend on whether we can get Thunder versus Strikers, because it's only 3 hours, 10 minutes, which normally they're not really finished by. And Brisbane are feeling the heat. Says Elon, well, it is 29 degrees in Cairns at the moment. Relatively warm weather. Andre Russell will be used to a bit of heat in the Caribbean, doing a bit of hip popping at the moment. Enjoying the tunes at the ground. It's like a little bit of a field reset here after the power play. And Whiteley sitting 1 run off 2 deliveries. Not going too bad yet, but every other time we have seen a lot of aggression from the Renegades. They decide against the 2 runs, probably smart. I don't know if they would have got through for it. Yeah, like I mentioned, it looked like in the background it was going to be bucketing down at some point. Doesn't look like the brightest day ever that we've seen in Cairns, but as long as they get a relatively full game of cricket in, we should be all right. We've got the backup of being able to play cricket 19 just in case. We've also, I want to see if this works. Hopefully it doesn't glitch, but I'm going to check something here. One moment. We go like this. We'll do it in between the overs and see if it works. And he is, yes, he is used to heat, unlike his cousin Finn Russell. Jason Tatum was pure butter yesterday. Kid is unbelievable. Jason Tatum. Pure butter. My brain's struggling. Is he related to Channing Tatum? Now, pits down sometime soon. Shut up about rain, says Brandon. So what we can do, I believe, so if I go like this is going to be like, this is fancy technology, ladies and gentlemen, if it works. Like that and like that. Like that. Right, we've got one ball left. It has now just been bowled. Whoops. That was the wrong button. Uh-oh. How do I fix this now? One moment. Fancy technology. We'll go like this. And we'll go like that as well. Right. What I was going to try and do. Okay, how can I mute this? Okay, it might not be as fancy as I thought it was. But what I was going to do is on my phone, I was going to be switching between the cameras that we've got. But it didn't work. Sadly, I should have had headphones in that. That would have worked a lot better. But pretty much with a push of a button, I was going to switch it to our other camera because I hear some guests have come home. I was a Celtic players, Celtics player, NBA, all-class freak show of a player. And there as well was pure butter. I enjoy butter. I haven't heard someone described as butter. I've heard butterfingers before. It's going to be a single take, and they won't get an overthrow here, I wouldn't think. For the Melbourne Renegades, currently 5.1 overs down. None for 56. Sweeps it into the bowling attack. What I wish my leg spinners looked like. They didn't know. I did a lot of full tosses today at practice. In fact, I did so many full tosses, I might not even get a bowl in the match because I didn't make a very good claim for it. Other than when I bowled off spin. That was all right, but I didn't do that very often because I was trying to get the leggies going. Sam Harper moves up to 19 runs off 12 deliveries. Madison sitting on 36 off 20. Slowly building into the innings here. Swepson, 3 runs off his first 2 balls. No bowler has really been hugely economical. I mean, that last over wasn't too shabby. From Whiteley, only went for the 4 runs off it. I just realized the scoreboard won't be updating because I moved that. Here we go. We are good. It would be very handy to have some sort of panel to control it from here, wouldn't it? But this is only a makeshift set just for a little bit. Sweeps in, reverse sweep there from Madison. Got it clean as a whistle, and that races to the boundary for 4. Well, they've moved up to 63 runs off only, if you look at 5.4 overs, you're looking at 34 deliveries. They'll be able to smack 63 runs. Brand Australia vs South Africa Saturday morning. Says Robert, and this game is like a public shaming for Brisbane. Gee whiz. And we know that they can be a mixed bag side. Don't get me wrong. They have some great moments, but they also can be very rough. They either get 200 on the board or they get bowled out for 60. That seems to be the Brisbane Heat summarised, unfortunately. But then the Renegades are another side that could be summarised in that exact same fashion of either going extremely well or having a shocker. Swepson currently. One's just kind of staying low in the pitch. That one, I think it was the wrong one, but it only bounced maybe up to about maybe the knee if you're lucky. Not a huge amount of bounce there. That will be the end of the 6th over. But it's now 65 for none. Also, they need Colin Munro to go full Colin Munro tonight. Yeah, he's done it for the Perth Scorchers in the past. And hopefully he'll be able to do it here again, just to make the game relatively close. We don't want another matchup like last night where it was extremely one-sided. And also, who's in the Heat? Side Hamish for this one. One moment. We'll go like this. We'll go like this. So the Heat for tonight, they've got a little bit of a new look side in some regards. But for this match, they have got, first of all, we'll just go in order of their batting. So it's going to be Max Bryant, Josh Brown, new name. Colin Munro, new to this side. Sam Billings, new to this side. Jimmy Pearson, who's the captain and the wicketkeeper. Ross Whiteley, James Basley, Mark Steketee, Xavier Bartlett, Mitchell Swepson, and then also Matthew Kuhneman. And they're actually going to be going up against Majip, who was their league spinner last year. Nice shot with the ramp there from Harper. What a catch, though. Was that Colin Munro? Might have been, and I think that's an absolute screamer. No, it wasn't Munro because he's getting the high fives from the bowler. Sam Harper dismissed exactly what they needed. And also, who won last two nights? The first night, it was the Sydney Thunder, and then the second night, it was the Adelaide Strikers. And Basil on your pizza, says Elon. If it's something that requires Basil, maybe. I wouldn't go out of my way to get Basil on a pizza, though. If that makes sense. Because I would much rather, like, even any vegetable to an extent, I don't really have. Like, if I had to pick a vegetable to have on a pizza, I'd have an onion. But other than that, not really too many of them make their way up high on my list. And also, I've been around, says Robert. And it was great seeing all of you not leaving. I've not been on the stream much. Hi, Robert. I've not talked to you a long time. Says Brandon there. And wait, your phone, Amish. Is it new one? Old one? Says Brandon. It is an iPhone 6. So pretty old overall. I haven't, oh, that was my leg that I accidentally almost took a picture of. But it's got a little bit of a glitch in the screen, which means at some point I will have to upgrade it. But hopefully that's in the further down the line than right now. But it's got a new case, so it looks fancier now, rather than the old case that I've had since this first day. Mark my words, Heat will win, says Robert there. Now, Basley, 1 ball, 1 run. Sorry, 1 ball, 1 wicket, I should say. Bowling now to Fraser McGurk, like I mentioned, a man who took an absolute screamer of a catch in last year's BBL. Thinking back to it, it was that one-handed leap. I think it was even his weak hand, but it's a very good catch out deep. Very good catch. Just keeps it above the ground. And the English have gone home, says Elon. Well, some of them are head to the BBL, haven't they? Gonna be no run taken. I was hello, Hamish. Says legs up. Welcome in, mate. Hope you're doing very well. Melbourne Renegades flying at the moment. And Hamish, are you free sometime this weekend to interviews? Maybe not this weekend, because we will have the cricket. That is the test match and the BBL, and then also the Champions Cup that we're going to be covering throughout the night. So I think this weekend, even though there's no sevens, I think it's going to be just as hectic, if not more hectic. I haven't actually had a look through at all of the Champions Cup fixtures yet. It's a nice shot there. Out through cover, going to get himself the single. I'm still excited, though, after seeing that Harlequin Sharks game. I feel like that game was a very good indicator of how good it was going to be for the Champions Cup. And there's some of those matchups this weekend. I know the Exeter Chiefs going to be playing someone decent this week. Ross and Billings are English players, says Robert there. Right, they're showing him here. He's going to be opening in poor crowds in the rugby, says Elon. Right, we will go down. There we go, Champions Cup. So I believe that's going to be Bordeaux versus the Sharks. That will be an interesting game. That's on Saturday morning. That's going to be a tricky one to cover if we do end up covering it, mainly because we will have to head up to cricket relatively straight after. But Exeter, they're going to be playing the Bulls. Knew that they were playing someone decent. It's going to be the 2 a.m. game, so we will be covering that one on the channel for Sunday, 2 a.m. Then from there, there's Stormers versus London Irish at 6:30 a.m. Hopefully going to be covering that one on the channel. And then on Monday, we'll probably end up covering Harlequins Racing 92 and also maybe Toulouse versus the Sales Sharks as the other matchup. I think that's the plan. And enjoy your commentary, Hamish. Cheers, bud. Cheers, Mark. And there, thank you very much, mate. Usually appreciate it. Do let me know who you think's winning this game. I have seen earlier on that Robert said there's a high chance that the Brisbane Heat win this game. Do you think they can do it? Or do you think it might be the other way around and the Melbourne Renegades are successful in their first match? And favourite commentator across all sports or just cricket? Cricket commentary, I'll probably go maybe Ian Smith. Or to an extent, I mean, I know some people don't like Mark Richardson outside of the commentary box that much, but I think in the commentary box he is pretty handy. I'm just picking Kiwis though. If I was going anywhere in the world, I like Mark Howard. You know, he's probably not one of the commentators that everyone thinks of, but like he does a lot of the like walking around interviewing the players, and I quite enjoy that side of things. So everything changes the last time I've been here. And Renegades Buds, says Mark there. Okay, back in the Renegades, almost on 70 runs off only 7 overs at the moment. Advancing down the track, McGurk gets onto it. It looks like it could be 2. They should get there. No, they decide against it. And also Ben Laurie says it was coding. And also we have got, I'm excited to see how Gabba pitch looks on Saturday, says Robert. So is that why these guys are playing in Cairns? Because they don't have Marvel Stadium or the Gabba? Or is it just a random one-off game that they've decided to go in a different direction? I like that one. I gave it as out, but it wasn't out, apparently. It might have been pitching outside leg, I think is what might have saved them. And question for you, Hamish, what is your favourite YouTube commentary? As in that I've done on the channel, Brandon, or as in YouTube commentators? Do let me know. New Zealand rugby is full of old farts. Super teams are missing out massively, and they're playing, not playing in that comp up north. And also, we'll let Razor go. New Zealand rugby, you special old chaps. Although, that's a wicket. Sorry. Swepson just managed to pick up Fraser McGurk with a lovely arm ball. I'd say at least they've locked in Super Rugby till 2030, because or else then, like, that would be possibly a little bit concerning. But yeah, just lets it rip out of the back of the hands. It actually hits the pad and then goes on to the stumps of Fraser McGurk. And also, yes, says Robert. And Howard's excitement is good for the sport. It is. Like, he just, you know, when you see someone and you just go, they just make people smile without knowing it. I feel like that's Mark Howard to an extent. Like, even just his, like, little conversations with the batsman, like, or the keeper. Like, he was doing an interview with Alex Carey the other day, or when he's commentating what's happening between, like, yeah, Brian Lara and Rashid Khan. Just those little quirks that he's got just make him just that little bit different. It's almost like he knows when he has to be serious, but he also knows when he can have a bit of a laugh and have a bit of a joke around with what he's doing. And I feel like that's a good balance to be able to have. And also we got that Bangladesh is 39 for 3 after India bowled out for 404. Nice. Okay, so a decent total from India. Not so nice for Bangladesh though, unfortunately. Now Aaron Finch actually made his way to the crease. This will be an interesting one. He's batting number 4. He looks like he is, how can you say it nicely? He looks like he's getting closer to retirement, Aaron Finch. From what we've seen of him recently, that's a nice shot out through cover though. That one might just about, it's going to be cut off. Got a little bit of fielding in the deep. And what's going on? Says Elon for Bangladesh. My favourite is Ian Smith and Ravi Shastri. Hopefully I said that correctly. Just going to have a quick look. I thought my parents came home. If they didn't, someone is probably currently burglaring the house. Luckily, all the equipment's in the lounge. They'd have to come sit down on the stream first. We can interview them about why they burgle people before they take all my stuff. They won't actually, hopefully. I believe it was my parents. Although I haven't heard them come in and say hi or anything, which they normally do. There we go. I don't think I heard glass break. Ishigua says, Elon, she's also very good on the commentary. And I feel like her and the Australian commentators always seem to get along quite well, which is good news. Marvel's getting upgrade. That's why, says Robert. And I was yes, you spot on, Hamish. He has a very joyful or jovial, outlook mixed with cricket and nous. Nous? Is that how you say that word, Mark? Sorry. My brain's not quite up to the crossword standard. I feel like those are two very good words for a crossword, though, to be honest. Jovial, that would be strong in Scrabble, too. Get the J in there. That's worth 10, isn't it? But yeah, he just, anytime he's on the commentary team, I smile just a little bit. You know, I go, yep, this is going to be good. And then Mark Waugh gets in there and just angrily talks about how much he hates everything that everyone's doing out there on the field. Oh, he should have put it shorter. That was slightly further down leg than he would have liked. That was a good ball, but he could have done this better. And it's like the difference between the two, just like that. And I was like, Rob, I haven't seen you in ages. How are you, mate? Says Sebastian, I'm okay, Seb, you. And also, could you, Hamish, what is your best time with chat? Says Brand, oh, best time. I feel like, to be honest, it's on a cricket stream because we get more time to actually talk together, which is something we don't get so much on the rugby because the games are normally that flat out. Like Nick Minninson, he's played the pull shot on a loser's wicket. Wait, what? Where'd that ball go? It got the top of the bail. Well, that didn't come across on the telly. I also don't have sound. See, this is what I'm plugged into. No, I can't do that. That's probably dangerous. Well, where's the electricity, though? Don't try that, actually. Disclaimer. Yeah, he's just hit it softly. It's actually... What? What? Did he step onto his stump? He hasn't touched the stump there, but the bail's fallen off. What's happened here? Nah, that's not out. What's happened? There's a ghost out there in Cairns, and it's knocked his stump off. He hasn't touched anything, but a bail's fallen off. There's a ghost. What the? How's that happen? You gotta be kidding me. They can't give him out, can they? Nick Madison's going, I haven't touched the bail or the stump. How can I be out? And now they're checking this one for a front foot. They've reviewed it. What is the scenario? And tune in the electricity for the mic. Just going, right, what happens? He's nowhere near the stumps. His back comes through, doesn't touch the stumps, back foot doesn't go onto the stumps, but the bails light up and the wickets, or the bail's fallen off. Maybe the wind blew it off. It's got to him. He's not out, surely. If they give this out, how can you? That's such a weird scenario for Nick Madison. So I guess that's a not out. Yeah, it's a dead ball, I guess. They ran a single. Sam Billings has just said he has no idea what's happened. And 17 starts on the same day as the Australia versus South Africa test. And yeah, maybe the wind blew it off. And also Mark Waugh, what is he good? Absolutely nothing. Say it again, says Mark. And there. Decent first name, Mark, of course, I should say. But just like very angry man. Or I don't know why. He just goes to work and he's very angry. And also a little bit early on, each girl looks good, sounds good, and always throws in a bit of filth on the sky. Little dirty jokes behind that gorgeous smile. And Heat won't win. Very well, Rob. Cheers. Looking forward to the third Pakistan versus England test and Australia versus South Africa series. Still Australia to give a toss about Bangladesh versus India. So Madison, imagine if that was something that happened in a lower league game of cricket. Because like everyone would have appealed. No one would have known what happened, and he probably would have had to walk, unfortunately. I think my parents are home. I just heard a ping because I decided I'd send a message just to see whether or not it went through. And I was really good at my favorite time in chat when George got special things to chat. Everyone be funny. Says Brand, a big moment in the game. Says Cody, definitely. And like Amelia said, common sense prevailed. It was a weird moment right there. Like I mentioned, he played the pull shot. And I saw the ball go out through that region, I thought. But then the bail lit up. So I thought maybe I had just seen something that wasn't actually it, but it was, because it didn't hit the stumps. But that's 9 overs down now, 76 for 2 here for the Melbourne Renegades. And O'Keefe is the GOAT. He is like a living legend, probably have a beer and spliff as we speak. He's funny on the commentary. Like, he always has his one-line little zingers. I don't know whether he pre-plans them or whether it's just what comes to his head, but he's got brilliant comedic timing and a laugh that sounds like a pot boiling, you know, or the kettle boiling. Just extremely, I can't even do it. He's got it unique. And 100% in a lesser grade cricket match, he would have had to take the walk of shame for no reason, says Mark. I should mention, I might have to do that throughout the next couple of days. On Saturday, rather than doing Australia versus South Africa for the first day of the test match, sacrifice that. I'm getting out into the middle. Going to be taking on some bowlers. Hoping for the best. Hello. How do you do? Would you like to come have a seat? We've got ghosts out there on the field. Nick Manninson was bowled, but the ball didn't hit the stumps.
Yeah.
No, they reviewed it and realised he was nowhere near them.
Huh.
Yeah. Do you want to come in for a look-see? No? What about Mum? She awake? Early night in the household. Aaron Finchie's about to go out. Classic Finchie. Out for 4 runs off 7 deliveries. Kuhnemann gets the wicket. And hi, Amish's dad, says Brandon.
Hi, Brandon.
That was a Gilly, as in the combo box, or in combo box or commentary box is great. Yeah, Gilly's also a good one to watch. Mark Richardson is good, says Elon there. And 100%, I read that one in Argentina versus France. Going to be great cliffhangers. Speaking of hangers, that one's just hung in the air a little bit too long. Finchie's out again, continuing his brilliant form for the Renegades. 4 runs off 7 deliveries, and that's going to make it now 3 for 76 into the middle order. Jono Wells, Adelaide Strikers representative last year, now there at the Melbourne Renegades. There's been a lot of changes throughout this BBL competition. Everyone reshuffling and getting it all worked out. But yeah, like I mentioned, I'm going to be playing cricket on Saturday, and I'm possibly going to have the GoPro set up on my helmet for when I'm batting, which will be interesting. And also we have got the Stephen Donald is good. The honey badger can't be tamed, and Finch time is up, says Coding. Yeah, he's not hitting it like he used to, Finchie. He might have 1 innings that's good every like 7 or 8 innings, but it's those other innings where you still need to be able to get 30 runs on the board or 20 runs on the board rather than getting out for less than 10. Definitely in little moments like that, if he had got himself set, maybe the power surge could have been an option for the Renegades relatively quickly. I know Nick Manninson will want it to be taking place while he's out there on the field, and Finch is finished, says Mark. And to be honest, even in like the team pitches and whatnot, you can see Finchie, he's not as fit as he used to be, given he has had that knee rehab that he went through after the T20 World Cup last year, which did take a lot out of him. But yeah, I think it's getting closer to that time for Finch. I don't think he's got another season in him for the BBL, unfortunately. A bit dragged down from Kuhnemann. They're going to take another single as I was going back to work to take in the same time and chat. Says Brandon there. A bit of multitasking for yourself, mate. Kuhnemann, though, Finch, he tried to hit that one out lee side. It just wasn't there, though. It was on the offside. Better off driving that one out through cover for a single. You'll be disappointed there, Aaron Finch. Batting at number 4. Catch him. That's out. Jono Wells dismissed 1 of 3 deliveries. And the Renegades starting to lose a few wickets here. Something we've seen in the past for them, unfortunately, is sometimes they can fall over. Manninson now will have no idea what to do. Because does he still stay as aggressive as he has been? Or does he go more defensive because they're starting to lose quick fire wickets? Just a caught and bowled there. Kuhnemann takes it nicely and far out, says Amelia. Which I think is what every Renegades fan is thinking at the moment. Thinking, oh no, it's 2022 and 2021 season all over again. And also, they have a few hangers on in Australian cricket. Let go of the reputation and seniority, or seniority, seniority, the older players, and let the best play. All Blacks been like that from 2019. Start off this year. Finally, some young guys, says Elon. Right. Andre Russell now at the crease, the big man with 121 on his back. I don't even know you could do 3 numbers in cricket. In fact, I don't think you can. It's just because it's Andre Russell. You're not going to tell him he's not allowed the number 121 on his back, are you? I mean, what do you expect from a team who call themselves Renegades? Says Abdullah, I'm going up and go. Says Brandon. Russell, 1 ball before the 10th. They may still consider the power surge in the next over or 2 here, just to help Madison get to his 50, keep that confidence building for him. Kuhnemann already taken 2 wickets, though. Nicely done. And behind it, Russell, patient. Into the over, 78 for 4. And also, it'll be awesome to see you hit some boundaries, the GoPro on your helmet, says Mark. I don't have too many boundaries. I think in my last, I should probably give some context. So before last game that I played, which was about 4 or so weeks ago, I hadn't actually played in a game of cricket against other people for 10 years, which makes me sound like I'm very old, but I used to play when I was about maybe 12-ish, maybe maximum age 13 or 14, but yeah, I'm now 23. Haven't had a lot of cricketing in actual match situations, but last time that I played, I managed to get 10. I got 1 boundary. I think it was actually, ironically, it was to the leg side that I had a 4, which is somewhere, hopefully none of the other team watch this. I can't play leg side to save myself. I don't know whether it's because I don't have the wrist flick that you need, but like if it's out leg side, I either miss it or my best effective shot to something leg side now, believe it or not, is actually, how can I do this? The best representation, right? And I have to get the knees up on the couch almost, but currently it's at the drinks break. So I'm a batsman of this side, okay? So I'm sitting here ready to bat, right-handed batsman. Then what I do when it's down the leg side, does that make sense? It's actually a switch hit cover drive, and I play that better than a pull shot. Or if the pull shot's straight, I'm not too bad. But anything leg side, set up like this, ready to hit it. And I actually get the bat through there not too badly. Just believe in yourself, Amish, you can do it. Says Mark, as long as I can stay out there for a little bit of time, I'd be relatively happy. Just because they'll probably send me out to open, which is normally the roughest time to be batting, but the time that you can get the most runs if you stick in there. I'm making this thumbnail piss me off, says Thumbnails can be frustrating, though, depending on what one you've got. They are just showing the highlights of the first 10 overs. But yeah, it's an effective weapon to an extent in the nets anyway. I've only played it in the nets, haven't played it in a real-life match. And if I was to play that shot and get caught on the leg side, I don't know what the coach's face would be like. He's also my uncle, so he probably wouldn't be very happy if I decided to switch it. And also, no, Hamish, please don't do that shot, mate. Yeah, it's not ideal, but like I mentioned, you can probably hear every inch of this couch when I'm moving. But yeah, my shots normally is on drive. That's the shot that I've got in the arsenal. Anything more of a flick, I just lob it straight to mid-wicket or lob it straight to square leg. Like there's no, like I get my elbow up relatively high, but it just doesn't go out there. So yeah, the quick old go one of those, a scoop away. I don't think it would hit to the boundary. It's probably just more of a shot that stops the opposition having a wide. So I won't play it in the actual match. It's one that I'll only play in the nets. How about that? We'll agree on that one. If I went out to it and it was on GoPro footage, you guys can tell me how much of an idiot I am. How about that? That's a fun deal. You probably could anyway, to an extent. Apparently 10.2 overs down. I did have this plugged into my microphone to listen to the game, but I'm worried that if it's plugged into the microphone, what I can hear through the microphone speaker, I'm worried you guys will also be able to hear that. And that would be not ideal because we would end up with a copyright strike. So I'll probably test it in a private live stream at some stage in the future. Looks like they're going to get 2 runs there. Russell moves up to 4 off 3 now. Too bad. And also, we have got there, I think they would laugh their guts out. They would. Definitely. Well, that's the thing. If it was actually, when you think about a field set, though, if you can get it through square leg and mid-wicket, there's a decent gap there. So if you can get there quick enough, I should stop convincing myself that's a good shot, though. It's like the one that's over the head and you just swat it down. We had a few of those in training today. I'd never play that shot in an actual match, but yeah, when you get a big full toss and the net behind you only goes up to about there per se, above your head, maybe about that much, like you just try and stop it from going over, because or else then it goes into the area with like sheep and whatnot. And I was Hamish, Brisbane Heat batting is good. They have got some good batting, but it's just whether or not they can score in a quick enough succession rate. I should have brought my bat inside. It's currently in the car. Should have brought it in so I could show you the shot in person. Ducking under that one, Andre Russell. Didn't want a piece of it. Basley, he's got some good speed. Got the wicket on the very first delivery. That was the wicket of Sam Harper. Andre Russell just practicing the ramp shot. Practice the swat. You got to serve it like it's in tennis, bud. An effective weapon. What other shots do I play in the nets that I shouldn't play in real life? I play the lead side block, which is when you're sitting there ready to bat and you play it like that, which looks all right from that angle. But when you rotate, you're actually playing it way up there and you just stick the bat there and let it hit it. It's another one of my specialties with an average of 10 this season. Although I've only batted once, so maybe that's just the rust. So one final ball of Basley's over. I got clean bowled at training though today. That was a bit unfortunate. Tried to drive it down the ground. Bowled him. It kind of looked like De Silva's wicket when Mitchell Starc bowled, if you guys remember that one, in the first test match between West Indies and Australia. But that's going to be the end of the over. Better one from Basley there. 11 overs down, 84 for 4. Hello to everyone from South Africa, says Grant. Welcome in again, mate. Nice lunchtime watching for yourself almost. I believe somewhere around there. And I know, don't let it go down the back and amongst the sheep. The keeper will be busy for hours, says Mark. And there, yeah. So in that, like the ground itself, like the cricket area is out to the side. It's very nice. But yeah, the net's pretty much, if you hit it over the top of the cover side, anywhere along that side, you're pretty much hitting it into a paddock of sheep. So I think that's not so much as my excuse for not playing expansive shots too much in practice, because I know if you hit it lead side, they've got to go and get the ball, which they don't seem to mind hitting me over there, but I'm a little bit too nice. So I'll just play a block, even though it's an absolute like dog of a ball that you could smack away for 6, or at least a 1 bounce 4 maybe. Hey mate, how's it going? It's going very good, Ollie. I'm in a good mood. I feel like I'm always in a good mood though, but I guess I'm in a slightly better than good mood today. Slightly. Yeah. I went back to sleep after going to Timaru with George earlier on. We did end up going shopping. He was getting some gear for Tekapo. Going to be working there on the tractor over the weekend. A little bit dragged down. Dre Russ tries to get onto it. 1 bounce to the man in the deep, Xavier Bartlett. And they do just take the single. Madison's still yet to get his 50. He's sitting there on 47 off 30 balls. Getting closer. But yeah, after that, I went back to sleep for like 4 or 5 hours till cricket training. Then got up, went to cricket training, sat back down, started streaming. Oh, how's that gone through? Great balls from Sweps. And I think the Heat are going to struggle this season, says Causa 33. Though they're batting overall, they've got a few good batsmen in there. You've got Colin Munro. There's going to be a lot of weight on him. Brown, who's now opening the batting. A lot of pressure on him to go out there. That's going to be a big, full, juicy, full toss. Down the ground to long on. Madison gets a single. Moves up now to 88 runs. 87 runs, sorry, for the team. He has got more than half of them. Whips in again, looking to rip this one. Give it a nice turn. That's a good ball. That was almost the wrong in as well, I think, for Mitch Swepson, getting his line in length right there. Andre Russell gets in behind it. one of the many internationals that the Renegades will have this year. They're going to have Martin Guptill after Andre Russell leaves, so he will be the third Kiwi in the BBL, or sorry, fourth Kiwi in the BBL, alongside Trent Boult, Colin de Gronholm, Colin Munro. Oh, that's a big swing. Russell thought it was the wrong, and it was not. And it's the end of the over now, 87 for 4. And you've picked up 4 wickets. Andre Russ comes to the crease, makes you want to run knob first into the corner of the table. Even reading that one, as I was reading it, I could feel the pain of that situation. As a story I'm about to say too, it's not really graphic. It's just informative. One thing I don't like about where we play cricket, it's training nets. Pretty much the fence is set up in a way that has, let's say, these little squares of wire all along, and then it's got a gap about that big, and then another wire on top. You can't quite drag that top wire down far enough so that you can step over the top of it like the Great Khali or the Big Show back in WWE. And as we've got there, the scoreboard appears very clean at the moment. Yeah, it's doing quite well. I've got the mouse in the right spot, I think, is the key thing. I has AB de Villiers' bat, do you? Does he know that you've got it? Or are you gonna give it back to him at some stage, Ryan? Okay, the Melbourne Renegades, they've taken their power surge. 2 overs worth of only having 2 men in the deep and everyone else inside of the ring. But now it's Xavier Bartlett. Already gone for 29 runs. It's quite a few in the first 2 overs that he's bowled. Manson sitting on 48. Cuts it away. It's through the field. That'll be his 50. Very well batted by Nick Madison. He started well. Then his teammates started falling around him, but he still stuck around for long enough to be able to get to that half century. 52 off 33 and his 10th BBL career 50. And this is actually his 100th match as well. It'll be a nice occasion for him. And he's got time to go on to get that 100. I like Guptill. He is a very capable cricketer, says Mark. He is. And I think this BBL, when he comes in, probably going to be his last audition tape in a way for the Kiwis, because I don't think he sees himself in the T20 picture anymore. But maybe if we see him in the ODI World Cup just around the corner. And I like Guptill. I know I read that one, didn't I? And while always the green screen, says Distracted Sports. Pretty much, I've got a couch set up just in case I have my mum or my dad join me for these streams, but also my green screen, unfortunately, it's one of those ones that like wheels up and down, locks into place. It no longer locks into place, even though I've only had it for less than a year. That's a great shot from Nick Madison. Another 4 runs to the league side. He's gone 3 boundaries in a row here up against Xavier Bartlett. And you wonder if that was the right choice to bowl him for the Brisbane Heat, as he now sits on 41 runs. He might have the most runs out of any bowler in the BBL if he keeps going at this rate. But pretty much the green screen, because it doesn't lock in, I have to lean it up against the window now for it to be able to actually stay in place, and there's still a chance it falls down. So I went to the couch. It's also a lot comfier than my wooden chair. Also, we have got Namj. Why Namj? Is that how that's said? Why Colin Munro not playing for New Zealand? Don't know. I mean, he's played very well in the past, but I think it's more of the case of they're more on the Finn Allen train at the moment for the openers. Another big shot. It's going to go out to the man in the deep. He's done well to field it. Still looking for the ball. Nicely done there. And this is what we needed, says Amelia. Yeah, another big over coming here. Nick Madison moves up to 62. Still only 4 balls down in the power surge, and they have already got themselves 14 runs on the board. It does look more comfy, says Distracted Sports. Yeah, it's good for the posture. I've buggered my lower back from sitting on that chair over the weekend for like a good 50 hours across the 3 days. And that's with the 7s involved. So I've decided to work on that posture. That's just a good shot from Nick Madison. Again, I'm going to give him another clap. Why not? It's not as 50. He's already got that. But that is some brilliant batting from Madison. Bartlett under pressure. He's moved up to 47 runs he's gone for. Just can't find his length. He's trying every ball that he's got in his bag. And the ball bag's running dry at the moment. That's a weird sentence. How do you come back from that sentence? I guess he wants to Wants to moisten that bag with this delivery. Give him a Yorker, either Walker. No, that's wide, and that's shocking. So that's going to be another runs. At least 4. I didn't say whether it was 4 or 6. I believe it's 4. Brilliant over from Nick Maddinson. A total of 22 runs off it. Mad Dog doing what he does best. And also we have got there in the chat, this game has a lot of good going, or a lot good going for it. Super over is now almost a formality. And you don't want dry ball bags. Take it from me, says Tony. You've heard it here first. He's an experienced man in all departments. Best way of describing it. I've realized I started telling a story about something that happened at practice, and I don't know whether I should finish it yet or whether I should wait till we're halfway through. I feel like it would work better going halfway through, but it actually involved a ball bag. Find out whose it was on the next episode or at the break. And also we have got there 4 4s and 1 over. Managed to get 5 in the end and just the 2 runs off the other delivery, which you might be quite disappointed about. Only getting the double. I prefer distinguished, says Distracted Sports. Sweeps in now. Bowled 3 overs, gone for 16 runs. Andre Russell still willing to play the defensive shots. And that's a bit of a changing one for the Renegades to an extent, because now 109 runs on the board, 4 dismissals. Oh, Russell almost hitting it onto his own stumps. They needed a big one to try and get towards that about 170 mark. Maybe even 180 to an extent if Maddinson stays at the crease. He's currently on 70 of 38 deliveries, doing very nicely currently. For the Renegades, if they go at 12 and over from here, they get 189, 10 and over, 146. Or sorry, 176. Dre Russ has just hit that one into the crowd. And that's going to move him up to 11 runs off 12 deliveries now. No one was able to take that catch, I don't believe, but that's probably fair enough. He absolutely smacked it away. Down the ground, great shot from Andre Russell. He's now starting to wind up a little bit. That one was an 89-metre 6. He did it for fun. He's probably got another one up his sleeve as well. Andre Russell, 11 off 12. And Maddinson is on fire. He is, and I feel like Russell's got that potential of being that anchor that he needs at the other end. Oh, okay, nah, he's just swinging now. That's another 6 down the ground. What I was going to say is he's got the potential of just hanging in there in the partnership, hitting the occasional big shot. Not really 2 6s in a row. I didn't predict, but sweeps in. He was 16 off his 3 first overs. He's now gone for 12 runs off just 2 deliveries here. How far was that? That was 91. Okay, now he's starting to warm up a little bit. Andre Russell. That's a big donation, Distracted Sports. Are you sure? Thank you very much. Merry Christmas to you too. I actually have to go like this and go like this and like this. There we go. We'll put it up on screen. Thank you very much, Tony. That can go towards my plane ticket to Auckland. How about that? When we do get round to heading up there and giving you a visit. Dre Russell making money shots, says Amelia. He certainly is. He's hitting the ball brilliantly. They don't know what to do with the field now, as you wouldn't when Andre Russell's now just decided that's the moment that he's going to go, just hit it. Oh, he tried it. He did a little backwards cut there. Bit of a misfield. They could have taken the 2 if they wanted it. Yes, they do get there in the end. And Legend Tony says, Sebastian, he certainly is. Anyone who's not already subscribed, check out Distracted Sports. I was going to make a reference to a running joke, but I don't know whether it would have gone well. I was going to say, if you like Squidge, he's the knockoff version, but that's not what I think, Tony. I think you're a great bloke. Nice one, says Elon in there as well. Although I did hear you on the podcast refer to 2 Cents Rugby as I'll say bad, but you said a different word, a bad Kiwi lads, which is interesting. That was a new one that I don't think they had heard. And I was like, Kiwi lads, can you help me with my thumbnails for the BBL this weekend? If you have time, says Yarnley Brand. Which matches do you think you'll cover, Yarnloo? Do let me know. I'll try my best. If I can, I'll see what I can do. But it just depends on how you want them laid out, I guess. I've got a very simple way that works for me, but then trying to change it up, probably, I don't know whether or not it matches everyone's style with thumbnails. Everyone else subscribed to Distracted Sports. Yeah, that's his link. Check it out. Good job, Sebastian. You get a pay rise. You get Tony's money. No, you don't. Well, maybe. We'll fly you to Auckland as well. Probably from Romania, it's a bit more expensive, I'd say, than $40. But couple grand, and you might get to Auckland with the boys. Currently 14.1 overs down. Madison sitting on 71. He's given the strike back to Andre Russell, sitting on 19 runs of 15 deliveries. And also, I should mention, with your podcast, Distracted Sports, or your award show, we got to see Mark pull the fingers, which is something I never thought I would see in my life. It is quite a fun one. It's going to be a whip to the leg side there. And also we have got there, no, he referred to me as the bad Kiwi lads. I corrected him and I'm this bad squidge, says Distracted Sports. But yeah, he just ripped the fingers. And I was like, hang on. I feel like you've loosened him up, Tony. You know, he had not really sworn too much, and then you get a podcast with him, and then in that very first one, I think he swore, didn't he? And now you got him ripping the fingers. It's good content. Very enjoyable. 2 cents gets distracted, everyone. Check it out on YouTube, Spotify, maybe Google Play. I think you will send to me on Messenger quickly. Going to tell you the games I plan to do, says Jan Lebrand. I can help you with the games over the weekend. I probably can't make every thumbnail throughout the BBL for you, though. That is something that you might have to do for yourself. So the easiest way is probably to hop on a Discord. Or no, do you have Discord or maybe a Messenger one and just chat about what ones you actually need? That's going to be missed by Andre Russell. He's a loose dude. Oh, he's not on his channel, says Distracted Sports. Colin Munro launching rockets is possible. It certainly is. Also, we have got Nate in the chat. Welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing extremely well. Hope you are enjoying the cricket that we've got here. Messenger, says Janlu Brand. I think you do follow the Kiwi Lads Facebook, if I'm not wrong, Janlu. I haven't actually been on that Facebook since I created it, I don't think. It's been a very long time. Down the ground. Just going to be the single there. It's going to be close to the end of the over now. Just one ball left. And get Canva. Not hard to make a thumbnail, says Distracted Sports. That's true. I think you've made a few in the past, Janlu. So I guess it's more of the case of, finding what thumbnails you want to do and then just sticking with those throughout your live streams. That's going to be nicely ramped over the top. Looks like it's going to be close to the 4 runs, but cut off in the deep. Just get the 2. Madison moves up to 73. And Russell's sitting there 22 off 19 deliveries. Looks like they're going to have a drinks break by the looks of it. Madison, he's probably earned it. He's been working hard out there on the field for his side, getting up to 73 runs. Still more than half of the runs scored by the Melbourne Renegades have been scored by their skipper. 5 overs left. I'd say 5. Oh, not 5, sorry. Maybe 10 and over from here. Get up to 179. If they push, they could get to 189. Might be a good option for them. Current partnership, though. Madison's got 28. Russell's got 22, and the partnership is 51 off 32 deliveries. Ticking up quite nicely for them in this one. All right, we will go like this. I'm going to see if my parents are still awake because I realized I have to ask them a question. Here we go. And I was over there, Mark wouldn't get much free time between all his videos and all the laundry he has to do. You're not surprised he's a bit loose when he's free, says Elon. A power surge helped us massively, says Amelia. And did you see the fights in the weekend? Are we talking the UFC, Tony? I didn't end up buying the pay-per-view, but I heard there was plenty of controversy for those 2 matches, the co-main and then also, just realized they called them matches rather than fights. But yeah, co-main and also the main event ending in a draw, which means there's still no heavyweight champion, which is a bit of a weird scenario. But then also one of the fighters, not Blahovic, the other man's, he's now said, I don't think I'll fight for the UFC again. They're not where it's at. Are you a Renegades fan, Amelia? I don't know why I thought you supported the Stars, says Sebastian. And I'm good, boss. On Smoko break, says Nate. How many hours you got left in your day? That's another big shot from Andre Russell. pierces both of them. I think it is. No, it's given as a 6. 6 runs for Andre Russell. He moves up to 30. He might overtake Nick Madison at this stage, which sounds like an absolute crazy statistic to say just then. But yeah, interesting fights between Pimlet and Gordon, and then also Blachowicz and the other man, Inkalaev. No, what was the fella's name? I can't remember. Name off the top of the head. Oh, yeah, Petty should have lost, but the judges were watching different fight, and the main event was unfortunate, says Distracted Sports. Because we had that conversation 2 weeks ago, somewhere around there, how we were like, it's already not that stacked of a pay-per-view to an extent. It's probably a bit of a lackluster one. And then the fact that that's how it ended, I think just confirmed what we already knew in terms of it wasn't going to be absolutely fantastic. But there's been some good fights other than that, though. A few of the other undercard ones on that card, and also the week before when we saw, who was the main event? I've already forgotten. My brain's gone blank. It was Kevin Holland, Stephen Thompson in that main event. But we did actually see a South African. That's a shot from Nick Madison. He's done my switch hit that I keep on trying to do in the net. 10 finishes leading to the main and then co-main. Says Distracted. So yeah, it's what you want on the build-up just to get people hyped up, ready to go for the main event and the co-main. But then you kind of get two that are like, meh, at the very end. But yeah, there was the fight that we saw Drekas actually get the win over Darren Till a couple weeks ago, wasn't there? Which was a big win for the South Africans. Which I know because I was told by many South Africans about that one even before I had seen it. Madison just did a Hamish shot. He did, except he played it a lot better. And the Wonder Boy fight was straight fire, says Distracted Sports. I listened to an interview that he does, or he did afterwards. He's got a broken hand. He's got a cut there. And also in his training, he likes to kick tires and get hit with a stick in the shin. And I'm like, mate, you are intense. But he's a great fighter. He's got that kind of karate style and terrible decisions. At least Tan was man enough to say, give the belt. Yeah, that's true. Actually, Jan said, give the belt to the other fellow, because his comment was, I don't know if I lost the fight, but I certainly didn't win it, or something along those lines. Which, yeah, the fact that he was like, just give the belt to someone, because now who fights for the heavyweight title? What's Ngannou up to? Is he currently injured, or is he just in a hiatus? Away from a Meadow playing like he wants it, and I'm loving it, says Amelia. Yeah, he's getting close to the 100. And sorry, Jan, not Tan. My phone autocorrects, says Mark. And there, Madison on 82 runs. Basley the bowler, the best of them so far for the Brisbane Heat. That's very wide. That's going to be given as a wide too there. And there's one downer about UFC and boxing, a bit of dirty politics, etc. Daniel, a dubious first round clearly ended early when he was in big trouble. Dodgy stuff. Nobody jinxed it, and Petty lost a lot of fans this week. Are you aware of the whole Ariel Helwani situation? I am. It's a weird roller coaster at the moment for Paddy Pimlet, because he started off that video of his dog. Was that a catch? No, he missed the fielder, and it's gone down to the boundary for 4 minutes, and in a little bit of trouble there. Almost the first real half chance he's given the Brisbane Heat. You are right, Sebastian. Hang on. We'll go here. We'll go there. Thank you. I forgot about that. I realised when I put the donation, I moved the mouse, didn't I? Ngannou still injured, no knees, says Distracted. But yeah, Paddy, when he had that video of him going up to that lady's door and saying about his dog, that got him a few people who were like, yeah, nah, he seems all right, seems like a nice guy. And then that Ariel Helwani situation happened and the Dana White podcast, and then it kind of made everyone go, nah, maybe not so much for me. Because like they're saying, or like they were saying, Ariel Helwani, he's had a whole heap of other people on, like John Jones, Conor McGregor, all of those people, and none of them charged him for an interview. Whereas now Paddy, he wanted a bit of money to be able to make it worth his while. And Perth's gorgeous because they're not from Australia, says Sebastian, for his BBL team. And 8 hours left till knockoff. Anyway, Renegades to reach 200 runs. Oh, Dre Russ thought about it there, but wasn't able to get it away. I say they reached 185 is what I'll say. 190. I just had a look at how many overs were left. You can tell because I squinted badly. The odds are still, like, they're a bit meh. The Brisbane Heat aren't huge underdogs. And crack up, says Nate. And also wait, so I am the only one, or the one of very few Renegades fans in this chat. And Helwani. I always say his last name wrong. Ariel Hawani. I feel like you've got to say the first name or else the second name just doesn't sound right, does it? He's my favorite sports journalist ever. The nose knows, says Distracted. I think it's funny how easy he gets under Dana White's skin. And Ngannou is a heavyweight. They're going to have Glover Teixeira versus Jamal Hill, the light heavyweight title at 283. Okay. I think we've found what we're going to be doing during the breaks. We're going to be looking through at UFC fight cards for the future. And probably in terms of what other matches around the world are happening for cricket, rugby, etc. We'll just have a schedule sort out. We'll look through what's happening in the near future because we are currently only about 16 days away from the end of the year, which is crazy to think because this year, I said it to my mum last week, I think it was. I said, hey, mum, did you know I've spent probably 95% of my awake hours this year sitting in that chair in that corner, either editing or live streaming or prepping for live streams or doing just random research. Like, I have spent my 2022 there pretty much. But it's been a successful year, I would say, overall. Go to sleep. Going to sleep. Got to sleep, sorry. Have a good night all, says Elon. We will see you later on. MD is going for Bangladesh in there as well. Currently only 3 overs left. And Kuhneman comes back into the bowling attack. Now, he's gone for 31 runs. He's also picked up 2 wickets. So it's a bit of a mixed bag there. I take you, Elon. And any more vlogs coming? It's been tricky. I'll be honest. We haven't really had a chance to film too much, sadly. Overall, like, I think since that first bowling vlog that we've done, in terms of trips away, me and George have been to Timaru twice, one of which was literally only to go into shops and then go home. And the other one, I think we were only up there very briefly also. Those are really the only 2 times that we've had at least one of the other Kiwi lads there. But I'm thinking about getting my mum in one of the vlogs coming up soon. We've got an idea that we're going to try and make happen. Also, I've got cricket on Saturday. So I'm hoping to put a GoPro on my helmet and do a bit of batting while GoProing, which I don't know how it's going to work. That's a great shot from Madden. No, it's gone straight to the fielder. Madison with the switch hit. My specialty goes straight to the fielder. He's out on 87. It's a class knock, though, from Nick Madison. A lot better over from Kuhneman. He's been the pick of the bowlers for me, or at least one of them, alongside Basley. But he switch hits it. In fact, he doesn't do the switch hit the way that I do the switch hit. My switch hit is terrible. Colin Munro does the C. That is, of course, for his children, which also starts with C. Although Matto should be proud of himself. He's done well throughout this game, the captain. Might even get a bit of a bowl later on as well. And good night, Elon. See his mark there. But yeah, I would like to do another vlog. I just know we're going to need to make it good. You know? Because we've got a few clips overall. We actually know. I should take that statement back. Because I just realized George on the Kiwi Lads gaming channel is now vlogging as well. So the footage of us going to Timaru and also us going around the parks in Waimate, I believe he wants. So he's going to have it for the Kiwi Lads Entertainment channel. So we're almost going into an auction season of who can actually have footage. And as you guys know, I'm not very pushy, so I don't win many of the auctions. And don't say anything else about the other fellas as reason not to vlog. People just want to watch the H-Dog, the Hamster, the Hameister, the man, the myth, the legend, H-Town. Says Distractor Sports there. Welcome in, Carl. Says Sebastian and Howdy from CP. Welcome in. I hope you are doing very well. Hope you're feeling good. Excited for another game of the BBL. Brisbane Heat will win today, says Ryan with a big shouting. And there is, your cap lock's still on, Ryan. It's been on the whole match, hasn't it? And the Renegades were scoring up until Madison got himself out. Sebastian, how are you? Says CP. They are just interviewing Nick Madison. I cannot hear it because this is my headphone jack, but my PC wouldn't play sound today. So we're playing on silent. That's down the leg side. Okay, that's going to be a dot ball from Kuhneman. How are you, Hamish? Says Ryan. Doing good, Ryan. Doing well. West Indies representing the Renegades. It'll be the end of his over, though. That was actually a very good one. I believe he only went for one run, got a wicket alongside it. Batting was shocking, or shocked the out of me so far. We better keep this up during the season. And yeah, caps on, says Nate. Currently, Dre Russ, he's got 2 overs to get to 50 runs. Got a shot, I would say. I was just trying to think if I had any cricket bat in sight, but I don't. They're streaming the HCC, the Heineken Champions Cup. We sure are. I believe we've got at least Bulls versus Exeter, Stormers versus London Irish. There we go. It was back there somewhere. We're at least doing those 2 games. I'd like to do the Sharks game on Saturday, but I do actually have to head to cricket at a relatively early hour, so I'm not sure whether I'll be able to finish that game before we get to the ground type thing, or we have to leave to go to the ground. Oh, the Stormers, London Irish, yes, CSCP. But yeah, I'm hoping to do at least 3 or 4 of the Cape Town games. Or not Cape Town, sorry, Champions Cup games. And yeah, he got 12 off 2 balls, says Mark. Yeah, he just went bang, didn't he, Andre Russell? And that's the power that he possesses. At the moment, Hosian has faced 3 deliveries, has not got himself a run as of yet. He needs to feed the strike to Andre Russell here because he's the set batsman. He's the man with power. That's going to be the shot down the ground. Just a single again. And once again in caps, we have got from Ryan. It hasn't come through that one, but it's come through this one. It is Hamish today's Sim Billings and Colin Munro. We'll get Brisbane Heat win. Yeah, maybe. They're decent batsmen. Don't get me wrong. They've also got Jimmy Pearson who can close out a game pretty well. Thoughts on games being played on New Year's Eve? It's slightly unfortunate to an extent, depending on the time. I know that we started streaming in 2021 and finished in 2022 last year. While we're at it, we'll have a look at those games on New Year's Eve and see what it is. All right, ballot time for a kip. Night, says the Chat Sports. We will see you later on. But once again, thank you very much, Tony, for your donation. Like I mentioned, Auckland flight, going to go straight into there. I sent what games I'm doing for BBL. And also, I just found your channel. Are you doing a great job? Says John. Thank you very much, mate. Hugely appreciated. It's like 3 balls left. Who do you think is going to win this game as well, John? Do let me know. Can the Renegades do it? Question that many of their fans asked last year. Same with Brisbane, though. Both of the sides. Bit 50-50. They only loser tonight is spelling, says Sebastian. And good night, Distract Sports, says Mark there. So the game that has taken place on the 31st of December, there's actually 2. So one game's going to be at 9, and then the other game is going to be at 5:30. That's a tricky one because I think we might be going to see some fireworks for that late. So I'll probably end up not doing Striker Stars, unfortunately. Don't know. I said we want to cover 90% of the games, but there are some overlaps this year compared to last year. Like this year, my uncle's coming over from Australia, so we'll probably end up hanging out with him for a little bit. He'd be one to get on a live stream to talk about horse racing. He is very good at picking them. Big shot. That's a scene. He's hit it into the sky. It's going to come down in the field of play. It is out. And unfortunately, I believe they actually ran there. So that is going to mean that the strike is not going to be Andre Russell's for the next over. And he's currently sitting on 35. And Renegades, I don't know who to pick. Says CP and take a break on New Year's Eve and get hammered. Don't know about hammered because the next day, 3:40 a.m., or sorry, 3:40 p.m., we've actually got Renegades versus Scorchers. And then Heat versus Sixers a bit later on. Plus a test match, I think. Is there a test match on the 1st? I know that the Boxing Day test match would have almost finished by that stage. Just have a quick look. No, the 3rd of January is when our next test is going to be. Right, another man dismissed. Looks like Russell might have himself. Does he have the strike here? think he doesn't. It's going to be Stickety bowling the final over. He bowled the second, went for 10 runs. Then off his next 2 overs, has only gone for the 9 runs off them. Well, Sutherland, he's got some big power, though, this man. Okay, yawn. Big yawn from myself. Good fun. Sutherland doing a little bit of a quick step and feet, warming up the legs. That would make me puff just doing that, I think. Oh, here's something I've just thought of. If I have the GoPro on my helmet for cricket and it gets like approved by the other team that I'm allowed to have it, you guys are just going to hear me puffing flat out every single delivery. Like when we have to run, great ball. Although, yeah, Andre Russell out. Hasn't got it to the boundary. That's why I said although. I wasn't sure whether it was actually going to be carrying all the way. It doesn't. You come on the Renegades, get a decent total. Unfortunately for them, they're starting to fall down here. And what looked like it was going to be about 190 run innings is now looking like it's going to be 165, which I don't necessarily think is enough. And I think the TAB, for their odds, are probably thinking the same thing. If Russell and Madison were at the crease still, you'd be looking at maybe about a $1.50 favourite in the Renegades, maybe even a little bit less. But currently, they're showing me darts. But now they're showing me Brisbane Heat are only $2.25 underdogs now. And that's got to be the worst wicket celebration I've ever seen, says Emmanuel there. Now, Rogers, Tom Rogers, that is. There's actually another Tom Rogers in the BBL. They're collecting them at the moment. Do I know a Tom Rogers? I know a someone else that starts with T that I won't disclose their name, but I do know someone with a very similar name to Tom Rogers, last name. Right, Rogers on strike here. Stickety picks up his first wicket of the day. Short ball, it away to the leg side. I want to see you hit that shot. I haven't had a good laugh in a while, says Mark. I feel like seeing me attempt that shot and missing it by about a meter might be more enjoyable. Because, like, from playing it so much in the nets, you slowly actually get, like, from being this way around, I get there pretty quick. And they don't go along the ground, unfortunately, so it's probably just going to chip it up. But we'll see how it goes. If the ball's there for it, I will attempt it and get yelled at by the coach. It's worth it. I'll have it on the GoPro too. I think 175 for 7. Good ball. Nice Yorker. Sutherland just has to hit it away. They take the single. 165, like I mentioned, that's probably a big total now for the Renegades in this matchup. After such a great start from Madison. Dre Russell, he did all right. And his as well. But with Colin Munro and the other team, a few of those other big hitters, this might be a bit of trouble. Although we've seen Brisbane get bowled for minimal runs before. That's gone up high from Will Sutherland. That one hasn't carried to the boundary. It's a drop catch, unfortunately, from Kuhnemann. Wasn't able to quite take it for himself, but I believe they just kept it to the 1 there. It's going to be a tough catch. I think it slightly got away from what day and time. Anyways, I need to see this, says Mark. So the game I am going to be playing, it is going to be at, I think the game starts at 1 on Saturday, but I'm not sure when the footage would go out. It would probably be like midweek next week, maybe. If I do, I guess, get permission to film it. Because I know that in county cricket in England, they allow it. Because we're from New Zealand and it's unheard of people wanting footage of them batting and whatnot. The other team might just say, no, we don't want you to have that. Which, I mean, I can understand to an extent, but it would be unfortunate if we don't get to film it. We'll just have to do it in the nets, perhaps. Instead, there's Thomas Stewart Rogers enjoying himself at the crease. Says Sebastian, just had to run through. Who was he playing for beforehand, Tom Rogers? Is that his full name, Thomas Stewart Rogers? It's the end of the innings, though, 166. He came from the Hobart Hurricanes, didn't he? They're all just switcherooing. 166. I think that's under par. I don't think that's the amount that they would have liked. It'd be great if you can, says John. It would be. Being able to get a little bit of footage. Like I said, I believe I would be able to in the Nets, Hurricanes and the Sixers, says Sebastian, for where he was. Because like at a team training or something like that, I'm sure that they wouldn't mind me doing a bit of filming. But yeah, it's just for the matchup. And as long as it's not in a position that impedes anything or distracts anyone, it should be completely fine, I like to think. And also we have got there, please let us know. Yeah, I saw a bloke in England with GoPro on during a game. I think he does it often. He does. I actually know the guy you're talking about, I believe, Mark. I think I'm subscribed to him. But he hits the ball a lot cleaner than me. He's very good. I saw in one of his recent videos, he got up to 150 runs. One moment. I'll find out what the channel's name is. Can You Cricket is the name of it. Yeah. He's got quite a few. This channel's got quite a few as well. Doing vlogs of the game. Is that even him? Yeah, it is. Okay. I would be curious to know what it's like because I want to have it on the chest while fielding in close because I normally, or on the helmet while filming in close because I'm normally either bat pad on the leg side or at short cover. So I'd love to be able to have it on there and see what it is. He got it done 2 weeks ago. Yeah, that's the one I'm subscribed to him also. Says Mark, and also Nazi Williams says see that as well. Mark, quite cool. And yeah, it's just a nice little insight that you get into cricket, I guess, in terms of what's going on, the calling when they're out there. And I think from watching him, I know that I need to get more quick singles or even just singles in general rather than being on strike for 6 balls in a row. You've got to keep that rotating and get your runs ticking over, which is something that I can improve on and hopefully will for this weekend. We'll come back to this if I get a duck. And sub to him, says Mark there. Now we are at the halfway break in between the innings. I guess is the best way of describing it. 166 on the board. Not enough for my liking. Feel like they should have got a lot more with how they started, but we haven't seen the Brisbane Heat bat yet, and we know how 50-50 they can be. So we'll see how it goes for them in the second innings. I guess I should go back to my interesting story from cricket practice. And also capturing live cricket match with GoPro would be awesome to see you there, Hamish. Can you do that on a GoPro? Can you do a live stream? I assume you'd need data of some sort, which I'm not too sure how you would set up for the GoPro, but who knows, maybe. Although I guess with the unpredictability of live TV and people not knowing they're on live stream, random moments might happen. Live probably after the first innings, sir. Or live probability after the first innings, sir, says Sebastian. I think the best way of finding that will be on my phone. I was going to stand up and scroll it down, but this will be a lot better off for me. I would say at the moment, I would go 55% Renegades, 45 for the Brisbane Heat, if I had to guess. Looking now, I was slightly off. 62% for the Renegades, 38% for the Brisbane Heat. So I gave the Renegades 7% less than what the odds have them. I think it was his partner that got the 156 and he got 104, says Mark. Or he's had quite a few innings throughout his time. I think, I'm trying to remember how long ago it was. It might have been titled The Biggest GoPro Score on YouTube or something like that. I don't think though, boss, says Nate. But yeah, if we can do some footage of the game, it would be quite cool. Or even if we were umpiring, because normally teams have to nominate a couple players to be umpire. Imagine that, having it strapped on there, getting to watch the rest of the team bat while umpiring, being able to see the LBW replay, whether or not you should have given it out or not. I feel like that would be pretty awesome. And also, thank you. My guess was 69%, says Sebastian. So we were about the same, 7 off both ways. So my story from practice, I just realized I'm terrible at telling this story, but it's going to be anticlimactic, I think. So pretty much like I was saying earlier on, there's like wiring around our cricket nets just because it's where it cuts off the sheep from the ground. Just small town things. So the wires, they've got squares of wire netting, or netting's the best way of describing it. And then from there, it's got a gap about that big, and then the top wire. So the top wire is too high to actually step over unless you want a mammoth wedgie, which would hurt very badly. So the tactic is to go through that gap. Now, as you can see, it's probably about that. That's not a very big gap for a human to fit through. But you make it work, and you do manage to get through it. But the actual problem that you encounter is not so much the squeezing through. If you imagine going over something that's like this, and you can't go higher, as a human being, when you step one leg over, you're in that position. And it's slightly unfortunate because every time I tried to step over that net, you'd actually catch your balls, unfortunately. Or what's a nice way? Yeah, we'll say our balls so that it seems like cricket balls. But yeah, like every time, you just couldn't put them anywhere. You know, male problems, I guess you could say. But yeah, that's the one downside of playing at the ground where we are for practice. Maybe you should give an umpire an idea, or you will give an umpire an idea about using a GoPro strapped to his chest, says Mark. It would be quite cool. Just because it will give you that insight, and also because it's going to be about there, you'll get to see the ball, the way it drifts and whatnot. Ideally, I think my mum's actually going to be coming with me, and I think she's going to be fielding from the sideline, believe it or not. So she's going to have my camera filming from there. I'm hopefully going to have the GoPro on my head. This doesn't look like a GoPro. I should do a square, but I'm going to have it on the helmet going up against its side for third place final. So it should be a lot of fun. Knockers. Knockers is another way of describing them, yes. But it was just the wrong height. So you either had to walk way around about an extra 100 meters to get your ball, or you just braced for impact. I'm just glad it wasn't an electric fence, to be honest with you, or else that would have been very, very tender and not a lot of fun. But yeah, I think maybe a couple of us might be going for a net session tomorrow of the team. So maybe I can check and see if the GoPro, I can fire it up for that and then just test it out, see how it works, see how it would look, whether or not you have it maybe strapped to the umpire's forehead. I feel like strapping it to the forehead, though, is probably a lot more annoying for the batsman and also for the umpire. Whereas strapping it around the chest seems like it would be relatively stress-free. Just put it over the shoulders, hit record, and you're good to go for like an hour. And not knockers, knackers. It didn't actually come through on the chat for some reason. I had to read it from a distance. It didn't come through this one anyway. I think I've got it set to live chat rather than all chat. Hang on, we'll go like that. We set to all, there we go. And I hope the ball didn't hit the helmet. Or I hope the ball don't hit the helmet and the GoPro. It's an interesting scenario because I haven't been hitting the helmet at all recently. But as soon as you have a expense, like it's expensive for what it is, an expensive camera sitting there, you just know that ball's going to be magnetized towards it. And as a bowler, I don't know, depending on their mindset, they might try and aim for it, see if they can hit it. But hopefully they're not quick enough bowlers to be able to actually get it up there that I don't have time to react and get out of the way of it. We'll see. Should be a decent sight. It's going to be exciting. See how we do end up going in that game. Yeah, it's only a couple days away, as long as it doesn't rain. If it rains, that's the last game we've got until about mid-January. So that would be quite a shame if that was the case. But if it doesn't rain and the weather's nice, good news. And if it does rain, I hope it rains early enough in the day so that we don't have to drive up there, because then I can schedule the South Africa versus Australia first test live stream and do a chilled out stream from home, but a BBL in the evening. So I'll let... Oh, that's a question. Would you want to know how I go in that game, or would you prefer to wait till you see the footage? And I was aware I've got there, just don't get hit in the German helmet, my friend, because you'll be kneeled over for a week, says Mark. That's important, not to get hit in the box. And if I do, that's the thing. On the GoPro, it's got decent audio probably, so you'll hear that. What's the best? With a box on, it's probably like a, no. You trying to get the box noise like that. Just up straight into the balls, which would not be nice. Hello, anyone who's just tuned in as well, by the way. Sure, leave a like and subscribe if you're new. We've got plenty more BBL coming just around the corner. Going to be exciting. Is there anyone in Aotearoa who is free and willing to volunteer to assist the Kiwi lads with camera angles, says Nate. I think at this stage, just my mum. So she's going to be on the sideline. This is quite convenient with this camera. So that's going to be going. She's going to have that. I've got the backup batteries. Got 2 of them. So she should be able to film theoretically for a good maybe 2.5, 3 hours, somewhere around there. And then, in fact, I might be having a trip to Timaru tomorrow, which is kind of like somewhere that has a few more stores. I might have to once again empty my bank and get another extra battery for this and an extra kind of 2 or so for the GoPro, just in case we do end up doing that thing with the umpires. And I also need an SD card for that GoPro. So, yeah, Christmas bonus, the Christmas budget, going to be gone. But it will be worth it if we can get some very good footage for it as well. All right, I'll throw that back over there. Not the camera. I can throw the batteries. Also, my socks are over here. I haven't actually got any socks on at the moment. It's that kind of nice and warm here in New Zealand that we don't have to worry about wearing socks. Look at that. If anyone's wondering why I'm looking over there, that's where the camera is on the screen for me. And we can't depend on Mumsy, my bro. Mumsy's 24 hours of work, says Nate. Yeah, although she doesn't have bowls this weekend, so she is going to come and watch, or she was going to come and watch anyway, which is good news because it'd be nice to have her at a cricket game. First one in 10 years that she's gone to. But yeah, she did have a free day, so she was going to be coming anyway. And I just mentioned it, I think, yesterday. I was like, would you want to film anything while you're there? And she was like, yeah, I'll film. I think her comment was just don't go out early, because or else then there won't be that much footage. And hi, says Ollie, welcome in, mate. Hope you're doing well. Renegades just about to make their way into the field. Brisbane Heat need 167 runs to be able to get themselves the victory. How are you? I'm doing very well. Can't complain, I would say, is the best way of describing it. I mean, I could complain about a sore back, but I won't. Back is a bit tender at the moment from bowling and fielding. I keep on doing this dumb thing that I'll just dive for random balls at practice that I don't need to dive for, but I do it anyway. And also, we have got the your mum is cool, Amish. She is very funny, butts, says Mark. She is. She is very down to earth, and I feel like, in a way, it makes it easier to do like these random live streams in the middle of the night or throughout the vlogs or anything like that. And I was like, you're free? I pays you to work for the Kiwi lads, says Nate. And then play Fortnite with me, says Ollie. When are you playing Fortnite, Ollie? I played a game that I hadn't played in a very long time. I played Terraria the other day. The one time I had like an hour or two off doing things. I had just finished an interview for another channel. I'm not sure when that's going up though, so I won't let you guys know about it until it has gone up. But did an interview and then I did a gaming stream with them. And that was the first time I played a game in ages. Just a little break. And I was like, how much you charging an hour, boss? Oh, we got the negotiations going. Hamish has already started. It's just about to go. I have a son in London. It's been snowing for days. Sure needs socks there, says John. Yeah, they've had quite a bit of snow. My cousin is actually in London. Or was she in London most recently? I know she was in England anyway, but I don't know whether they've moved on from London. But she took a picture of the snow and everything over there. They've been doing a European tour. So I think they've been already to Italy and France and all those ones, and now they're in England for a little bit. We ate KFC, cheeseburger, and dinner, says Coding. Nah. I feel like if I was to have KFC or anything like that, it would be a Monday or a Sunday thing, because I know George is coming back from Tekapo, and he would have been working frantic hours up there, or over there. So I think we might end up going to KFC as a reward for him working and a reward for me streaming. One moment before the second innings gets underway. That sneeze hit me right in the nostrils. And we are good to go. First over. Looks like straight away they're going with the new spinner as the option. And Hamish already, the Brisbane Heat openers already came. Did they? Okay. Well, they're about to start batting for me. Brown's on strike. Oh, that came back in a little bit for Hussein. Did see briefly with the bat. And free of charge. Spread the Aroha, says Nazi Williams. That's very generous. Although you're not anywhere nearby, are you? So we probably have to pay for travel. And then too much because I sends a koha for Aroha because, says Nate. Another nice shot in behind it for Brown. Munro not opening. No, I believe he's batting 3 in this innings. So be interesting to see how Colin ends up getting on in this matchup. Currently, Max Bryan and Brown, though, the two openers that they've gone with here. Hussein gets a good turn on the ball, I believe. Oh, wait a minute. Why is that man falling over? He was nowhere near the ball. Is he all right? He might have just slipped a little bit. And yes, Hamish, says Ryan there as well. Currently in the commentary box, 3 men that I know of, but I can't think of their names. So they probably, are they going to show it? No, they might not here. Middle guy looks so familiar though. Who's the middle commentator, ladies and gentlemen? In that box for anyone who's watching it. Oosh, misses the rugby and league already, says Nazi Williams. And there. Yeah, it's a bit sad not having it. Luckily, the sevens is only like, oh, it sounds so far away though, 30 days or 40 days away. But it's in Hamilton. It's going to be a good watch. And then we get back into Super Rugby season. I'm very excited for that. That was almost a caught and bowled. In fact, it was. He's taken it beautifully. Hussein having a bit of a prayer there. Andre Russell with him. Picks up the first wicket. Bryant gone for a duck now. And the Brisbane Heat might be starting the season the same way that they finished the last season. Badly. And rugby live stream scheduled this weekend. We are going to be doing 3 matches of the Champions Cup, or maybe 4, and also the cricket's coming up. So that's the plan. No sevens this weekend, though. And also, I don't believe we're going to do the Football World Cup final because it wouldn't feel right just doing that one if we haven't done the rest of the competition. I feel like we probably should have done some of the other matches. I mean, if you guys want to see that and we just have a sit-down, chilled-out chat about the game while it's taking place, maybe a slightly less serious commentary, then I'm keen to do that. But just depends on, I guess, what's happening for it. Oh, the World School Sevens. The Open Boys is coming up here. Where's this going to be taking place? The New Zealand Warriors, the Samoan Barbarians versus Nauru, South African Barbarians. Oh, when's this competition taking place? Early morning on Saturday. Where can we watch the World School Sevens? Is that on World Rugby's YouTube channel? Do let me know, everyone, because Samoan Barbarians 7 side would actually be quite a good watch, I would think. And I can't wait. Hamilton Sevens will be my first time in New Zealand. So you're actually making the travel over, Yanlu, to be able to watch it. And 4 grandkids in his flight as well, says Nazi Williams. Tell you what, 4 grandkids. If we're talking about that camera work, we could have a whole camera team, couldn't we? We could have one from Square Leg, one from Straight On. Become a well-organised corporation. We'll buy you KFC, of course. Colin Munro came, says, Ron, I'm not sure what he does in his spare time in his relationships, but he's now at the crease, sitting on 1-off-1 deliveries. And I'll pay for Nazi Williams' flight to South Island whenever Q-Lad's ready, says Nate. But yeah, good celebration early on for Hussein getting that one and give PG Ryan. Like how we were thinking the exact same way, Sebastian, there. Who do you think will win, says Jan Lu. It's an interesting one now because losing a wicket early, if they lose Munro, I think they're in a bit more trouble, but for now, they're all right. And bring the farmhouse, says Nate. They need 8.71 runs per over from the get-go. And they've got Majid from the other end. So they're actually opening with 2 spinners. Something that not many teams get away with. Normally you need that pace option. I've just realised, Kane Richardson playing in this game for the Melbourne Renegades? He didn't bat. But if he would have been right down the order. I don't think I've seen him yet. Maybe he's not, but Be interested to see how he goes. And yep, says Yarnley Brand. Jeep, little bit of a wrong in there. A nice delivery down. I think they've got Finchy mic'd up possibly for later on in the innings. Now, Brown's on strike. So only got himself 1 run off 5 deliveries. He's got to dig in though. And the power surge or the power play is already completely different from what we saw from the Melbourne Renegades. They went after ball number 1 and from then on, just keep on attacking. They got 50 runs off their 4 overs. Drag down ball from Majip. A little bit quicker that one. I don't know, 164 runs needed of 110 deliveries. Brown gives himself space. That's a shot and a half. Beautiful cover drive. Almost off the back foot, but then stepped into it and just hits it for 6. Brown moves up to 7 off 7. That's how you change it pretty quickly. But yeah, World School 7s, ladies and gentlemen. Does anyone know where to be able to watch those games from? World School 7s. I think they could be on YouTube. Maybe on World Rugby or Rugby Pass. Hopefully one of the two, though, because that would actually be quite entertaining to be able to see it. Yeah, nah. Don't see it on World Rugby. Maybe Rugby Pass, because they've been doing that World Schools Festival, haven't they? It's currently going on at the moment. The World Sevens Festival. So they might end up doing those other ones, if we're lucky. Only 2 overs down, 1 for 10 at the moment here. So they've got day 3 coming up for the school festival. I don't believe that's got 7s, though, that I know of. Just having a quick look. It's the semi-finals at halftime. Are they playing 40-minute halves? Yes, they are. Okay. I was just doing a little bit of research there on the fly. Now the next bowler, it's going to be Hassan once again. Northern Boys play leading 7-0 playing Millfield. And there's not mum and also make rugby free. You greedy bastard, says Sebastian. I agree. Because if it was free everywhere, I talked about this on a chat that I had with someone a little while ago, and I said that if somehow we were lucky enough to be able to even show a little bit of footage, like we would be able to offer so much more to the people who keep on returning, wanting to see the rugby or wanting to see some snippet. It would be absolutely awesome. That's going to be a tough catch in the deep. Richardson's taken it nicely. So I mentioned Izzy in the field. He sure is. And Brown is now dismissed. Singh gets a second on debut. Melbourne Renegades on fire and Brisbane Heat doing Brisbane Heat things by losing their wickets. Thought Richardson for a second may have placed that ball down in the process. I reckon rugby union should be free. FIFA is free, says Nate there. Look at that spin. Got it to sit up in the surface just a little bit more. And then Richardson, does he catch it clean? Gets his hands on it, puts it down, keeps the knuckles up under the ball so that the ball is taken. Second wicket down for the Brisbane Heat. They continue like they normally do. We're probably only going to get to see about 12 overs from them here. Hope the Renegades win. I'm getting tired. Good night, Amish. And folks, cheers. Thank you for the commentary, Amish. There's Marks. And unless, I guess we will see you later on. That was almost like my outro, wasn't it? I hope you do have a good night's sleep. And yeah, we'll end up seeing you maybe in the future, possibly with a cricket score to tell you for myself. Hopefully it's more than 1. That's the goal anyway. Have a good one, Mark. Says Sebastian. But now Hussein sitting 2 wickets, 3 runs off his bowling. And Sam Billings now at the crease, the man who was at the Sydney Thunder. We'll try and build that chemistry with the Perth Scorchers ex-Monroe. Gotta love a good yawn, don't you? Or just glides it there off the edge, Billings. Strategic shot. Finch is going to be chasing after it. Slides in the field. Does all right. Fires it back in. They get 2 for it. First ball that Billings has faced. The Englishman. So the 3 internationals, I believe, are Billings, Munro, and Brown, which means they've got all Australian bowlers. Which may be why they didn't go that well with the ball in hand bats. You got to chuck that international in, and Kemp bloke at the crease. Oh, he was almost going away from the crease. Almost chopped that one onto middle stump. Got onto it just in the end, Billings. I think the Renegades are definitely in the box seat. And I'm going to have a quick look at those odds again to see how they sit. But the reason I say they're in the box seat here is because when you think about it, they've still got Kane Richardson as a bowling option. A bit league side-ish. They do just have the dot ball there. Yeah, 24% for the Brisbane Heat to now win this game with that expensive, or with that crucial wicket falling, I guess is the best way of describing it. Oh, I have a question for everyone. And I won't be offended either way. It may not change too much in terms of what we're planning on doing for the future just for now either. But do you guys prefer this setup of sitting on a couch or the green screen setup of having the stadium behind me? Do let me know. Stadium, green screen, or couch and I guess a little bit laid back style more. And also we have good there. Akil is smashing it. Says Sebastian, yeah, bowling very well for his first 2 overs. I see Tom Rogers, now another very good bowler. Is that a massive dragonfly trying to land on his shoulder? I think it was. Got 26 matches, 29 wickets. I'm steaming into the crease. That's a terrible ball straight away. I hyped him up, and that's going to be the wide. So Brisbane Heat, $3.75 underdogs here. And also, whatever pleases the master, as long as you're comfy, says Sebastian. Whatever makes you feel comfortable with boss, or makes you feel comfortable, boss. I ain't fussed, to be honest, says Nate. I thought there would be a chance that may be the answer you guys gave. I would have to see the green screen to comment, says John there. So I think, did we have it for the first BBL live stream? I think we did. The first BBL live stream, we had the green screen set up, but then from there, I've kind of switched over to sitting on a couch, which isn't too bad overall. She's laughing about something very loud. Erin Holland. I don't know what she's done. She's almost crying with laughter. I can't hear her. She's not coming through this because it's in my hand. She's still laughing. I wonder what just happened. I wish I knew. Nicely played from Max Bryant. Oh, sorry, that was actually Sam Billings. Where that shot, Max Bryant was dismissed not too long ago. And Couch looks fine, says John. And there, I'm wondering whether or not I sign up for Sky Sport now again. Because I currently only have Sky Go and Spark Sport. And also, I sometimes end up getting Stan Sport depending on what rugby's on there. But if I had it on, if I had Sky Sport now, I would be able to put the game actually up on that TV rather than on my monitor. I wouldn't be able to have sound, but that would be all right. I feel like we've learnt from this game that not having sound isn't the end of the world. At the leg side, manages to get it over and through Colin Munro. It's his first boundary of the day, moves up to 7 off 5. But yeah, it would be quite cool to have it on a slightly bigger screen, and maybe that would entice my guests to join me a bit more often if I had it on a big screen where they can have their beers and their chips. That reminds me, I actually got me mum a box of beer not too long ago. Heineken's, that was the donation that we got, so straight into the beer fund. Mumsy got herself some Heinies for Christmas. Monroe currently going at more than a runner ball. That's a close LBW. He's going like this. I think he was happy. Says it's going down leg or pitching outside leg might have been the call. They've got a review if they want it. Doesn't look like they're going to use it though. It looks like they're going to get bowled out for less than 100. Says Aiden, there's a high probability at this stage, but then there's also a chance that they can somehow fire back, isn't there? They're just one of those sides, Brisbane, They love a good roller coaster of an innings. They never have one that looks obvious what's going to happen as the result, other than when they absolutely plummet. Yeah, Rogers was very happy. It was going like this, which of course means that the umpire is going to go right. Because he's making those hand gestures, I think it's a little bit closer to the out than I did before. And he will win within 5 balls left. Is it going from Robert? And yo, my homies and Kiwi lads, you're doing a great job, Hamish. I think I'll go with Brisbane Heat. Are they playing well? Just managed to tune in. Busy day here, says Ruth. So they've lost their 2 early wickets, but this is the massive partnership that they need to have stick around for a while. Man's having a bit of a dance in the big Brisbane Heat suit. You always wonder who is wearing the suit, because who was it a while ago that was actually in one of those suits? I can't remember. But they were a mascot for something, and then they got promoted from mascot to actually doing something else. And I was like, Ruth, hope you're well. And Munro is Kiwi lad you like, or like Kiwi lad like you, says Arnold. That is true. One of the 4 Kiwis that we've got in the BBL, which is quite awesome to see. We've got Colin Munro, Martin Guptill, but he's not there yet in the competition. Also alongside that, there is Colin de Gronholm and Trent Bolt. I believe those are the only 4 as Matty Renshaw playing. He is not in the lineup here for the Brisbane Heat. But I think that's due to how close he is to getting selected for test match cricket. So he's kind of right on that verge. And let's go, Munro, please get us to victory, says Aiden. And I also coming for the Aussies, says it was there from young boy Pete. Yeah, it's coming soon. Oh, okay, Matty Renshaw. That's actually just answered that. He's not playing because he's just welcomed a child into the world. So, yeah, that's why he's going to be missing for this game. Not so much because of any connection to test match, but more because he's old and a baby. Why don't Munro get chance for New Zealand T20 squad? I think it's because consistently he does go up and down very often. You know, like they need a little bit more consistency. Saying that, they didn't really find it in the other players that they went with, but I think that's why they didn't have a no Brendan McCullum. Unfortunately, he's busy with more important stuff, says Sebastian. And great, thanks. I'll stick around for a while too. Give me a superhero player betting. Oh, player betting for Brisbane. Thanks, Hamish. How's it, my buddies? And Super Sebastian. Ooh, Super Sebastian's a new one. I don't know, ain't a bad one. Oh, so who are you supporting to? I haven't really got a preference in this game, mainly because I'm from if I'm from New Zealand, I should be going for Colin Munro's team, the Renegades, the Heat. But I like watching these games being impartial. They're always enjoyable. Richardson, so far, he's had 2 dot balls. The Renegades were 30 runs ahead at this point of the match. So it just shows the Heat are starting to struggle a little bit, maybe feeling that heat, not getting as many runs as they would have liked in those first 4 overs. Richardson, once again, trying to drift it across. Munro has smacked that one down the ground, and that will be 4 runs for the Kiwi. Very nice shot indeed, keeping it down along the ground. And Super Sebastian SS. Oh, no, not quite that one. Just a very good shot from Colin Munro. Made sure that he played it right under his eyes. Didn't allow that ball to bounce up. Works out nicely for him. And also, we've got that on the same, Hamish. You're all good sides. Says right. And also, well, you're a good bookie, Hamish. You had it spot on with France last night. I'm still sad about Morocco. Although Morocco, I think they play Croatia tomorrow morning. Is that correct? Or is it a little bit further in the future? I'd like to think they'd give them a bit longer than a day or so to recover. Supporting Brisbane Heat. Also, Hamish, says Ryan there. Only 2 balls left of the Richardson over. He's gone for 5 so far. The single and then the 4 down the ground by Colin Munro. There we go. 2 days, 4 hours away. Croatia versus Morocco. So that must be a Saturday. No, that's a Sunday morning game. And then Argentina, France is at 4 a.m. on Monday. We might be able maybe to do that final if you guys are keen on having a look at it. It will be chilled out. I'll probably be sitting on a couch as well for that game. I don't know. I might be sitting on the couch all weekend, to be fair. It's quite a comfy one. And just while the green screen, I think it needs a few repairs, so we might have to try and find a way of fixing that. Also, can we see some Natini? I'd play BBL with Sean Pollock, Mark Boucher, says Aiden there. Not too sure about some of those names. I think they might be a little bit older than they'll want to play, wouldn't it? And could you please turn your caps off? Says Sebastian. Also, yes, Shane, play for third spot. Otherwise, Sebastian, I'll call you cool dude, says Ruth there. Sebastian, the cool dude. Nice. 5 overs down, 28 for 2. Slow start to this game for the Brisbane Heat. I should mention my team in that game for the cricket is actually in that third place playoff match. But there's only 4 teams in the competition. So it's pretty much no matter what you play all of the games type thing. Looks like a good crowd in Cairns, though. I thought it was going to rain at one point. I was actually worried we were going to have to do a little bit of filling in of the gap. We've done that before, though. We just played Cricket 19 pretty much. Would have had it up on the monitor, had it showing on the stream. Have to get it organised. What about seeing Herschel Gibbs play BBL? Says Aiden. Geez, that's a little bit of a throwback too, isn't it? Herschel Gibbs. Will Sutherland, though. 30 matches, 13 wickets. He only became a bowler more recently. Will Sutherland, I like cool dude. I've certainly been called worse. Also, words starting with C and D, says Sebastian. Oh, that's a little chip down the ground. It's going to be shorter than man, though. Nick Manninson wearing that nice shiny golden cap. I remember those players, Mark Boucher and Sean Pollock. They must be middle-aged dudes now. I'm calling Hamish Red Hot Dude, says Ruth. The Red Hot Dude. Okay. I have to wear some red, won't I? All my curtains are red. And actually, if I go out in the sun, I become very red after not too long as well. That might be kind of where it's come from. Possibly. My foot's currently red, which is probably good because sometimes my feet do turn a little bit purple. I haven't got the best circulation. Some of you guys may be able to tell when I'm slightly purple at random hours of the night. My hands are kind of not purple, though, so that's ideal. Well, Sutherland, he hasn't started us over too bad. Renegades were still 29 runs ahead at this point in time. But I think the big difference is how slowly they finished their innings compared to how quickly they started. Nicely fielded there from Rogers. Slings it into the keeper. Munro sitting on 15 off 14. Billings sitting on 6 off 8. These two, if they're going to be strategic, I would say you take the power surge straight away. Definitely if these two are still at the crease. They lose a wicket soon. It makes you rethink it a little bit. But Brisbane does seem they're not in any hurry here. So if they know that they've got the power in their lineup, oh, that's going to be right in the hip bone. That one I felt nice. Should be able to continue the match, though. I am hoping. I would say you're on fire, always rocking in positive energy. But some sunblock on, Hamish. I have to skin is so delicate, English Rose, says Ruth. I'm really hoping for the game that's coming up for us on Saturday, it's not really sunny. Because, if it is really sunny, like, if you've ever tried to play cricket with sunscreen, as soon as you wash your hands, like, the sunscreen just doesn't properly go away, and you feel like the ball's going to slip through your hands every time. Whereas if you are in a game where you don't need sunscreen, it can be quite handy. I'm just going to have a quick look at the weather while we're at it. Saturday, it's supposed to be 18 degrees, a little bit of cloud cover, but also a bit of sun. And it's going to be a nice day for cricket. Fingers crossed. As long as that Friday weather, that's supposed to be lightning strikes and whatnot, and the Sunday weather that's supposed to bucket down, don't decide to either come early or come late. Ray Russell into the bowling attack now. One of the international players for the Renegades wearing his bright yellow shoes. 25 matches in the BBL, 26 wickets. We did see him with the Melbourne Stars last year, I believe it was. Ouch, it could have hurt on the hip bone, says Ruth. Yeah, one of those regions you don't really want to get hit on your body because it doesn't really feel nice, unfortunately. Shot to the leg side. by Munro, trying to pierce the field, but it's gone straight to the man. Almost a forward deep mid-wicket. Best way of describing that one. Out there for the big shot of Munro that he might go for every once in a while. They've got Aaron Finch on the mic. I currently can't hear it because this is my microphone on my camera. No, not my camera, my headset. There we go. We'll plug it into the couch. So there's actually, you can get fancy couches, can't you, that have Bluetooth that you plug your phone into through Bluetooth, and then you connect headphones to your couch. That's not much of a shot from Billings. He's just worked it to the leg side, straight into the hands of the fielder, Sutherland, and that's going to be the end of Billings. A disappointing way for the Englishman to be dismissed, but Andre Russell gets the wicket, and now the Renegades are going to be having the Heat 3 for 34. And yeah, my surfer friends here in Cape Town always slap the white and green zinc sunblock on their faces, burn out in the salty seawater. I have a question with zinc. I feel like I should know this and it should be self-explanatory, but you know how people put zinc like there and that's about it? They don't put it anywhere else. Does that mean just that part of your face won't burn? Or does the zinc somehow, is this going to sound like a really dumb statement? Does the zinc somehow stop the parts next to it getting burnt as well? That is my question. I believe it's the first one of just where you've put the zinc doesn't get burnt. I was having a nice Xmas, mate. Says Greg Livingston. You too, mate. Hopefully you do enjoy it. Do eat plenty of food on Christmas Day so you can hardly walk on Boxing Day, but you still got to go out, see if you can get yourself some bargains. Get those Christmas presents that no one got you on the Boxing Day. I was like, Hamish, maybe Brisbane Heat lost. Says Ryan, they're not looking good at the moment, Ryan. I'll be honest with you. Munro only going at a run a ball. Also, Jimmy Pearson now at the crease type bowling. Keep that line and length, says Ruth there. Yeah, and they haven't really given any freebies away over the last couple overs. It's another big yawn by Andre Russell. Such a casual way of bowling, but might be drifting down leg, not given out. I don't believe it will be close enough to be overruled. Some umpires looking unimpressed. Doesn't look like they're going to check it. Andre Russell wanted it. I think he's just asked the umpire, was it drifting down leg? I think that's what Munro said at the other end as well. He said, nah, mate, that one's not out. Per over, Brisbane need 12. Says it was there from Ryan. Not quite. Currently 9.65 required runs per over. Although I think you're a little bit ahead of us, so maybe it has gone up for you more than it has for us currently. Now, Andre Russell, very good first over. In fact, seems to be throughout this matchup, anyone who's been successful has actually been the most successful in their first over. Yes, that last over was an exception. They're well stickety bowled, but it seems to be when you get your first over right, you just continue to go for a decent economy. That's well bowled again. Yeah, Hamish. I think if you're serious about sunblock, you put in total over face and nose. The other strips or the other stripes are for looking funky fashion, conscious types. Oh, okay. Oh, I could put a TKL on my forehead for the Kiwi lads. But then if I wore a helmet, no one would see it. So that would be a bit anticlimactic, wouldn't it? Another short ball. Hasn't got on to that one. Just cleared the man on the ring of Hassan. And they get another single. That will close out the over. 3 for 36 at the moment for the Brisbane Heat. And now requiring exactly 10 runs and over from here on out. To be, or 10.1 now it's changed to. That just blew me off. Or it blew my plan or my chain of thinking. Now Munro, 18 off 18. Sitting on currently. Yeah, I had to get that GoPro out of its box. Fire it up. Probably today. Or at least charge it a little bit today. So that it's ready to go for tomorrow. Because I think I'm going to be going up the road, like I mentioned, get a couple extra batteries. Just so that if we do end up doing a recording of a majority of the game, the last thing we want is to run out of battery power halfway through. That would be quite disappointing. I think that's the plan. Get some batteries. It's our cream or sweet chili cream cheese on crackers. Delicious. Onion and balsamic village. The onion and balsamic vinegar flavor is also good. Says Ruth there. Interesting. Sweet chili cream cheese. Now, Ruth, I like that style of thinking because I'm not a fan of sour cream. So that works a lot better for me, sweet chili and cream cheese rather than the sour cream side of things. I don't know why I don't like sour cream. I don't think I've actually really had sour cream that much. It's more of the case of it's got sour in its name, and it's kind of just bad cream in it. So I haven't had it. Another single of Majib's bowling. He did go for about 8 in his first over, including a big shot that we saw. Nice, have you ever tried duck? I haven't. It is something I'd be curious to try. Oh, that's a big shot. That's a huge shot from Munro. That's got to be about 95 to 100 meters right there from Colin Munro. He got every piece of that one and sent it on its way. But yeah, it would be a meat that I would be keen to try, but I'm also a medium to medium well done steak kind of guy. So I don't know whether I would enjoy duck as much because it's like normally to have the best duck, it's got to be slightly less cooked, doesn't it? For the duck, it's kind of a little bit more pink or purple. And sour cream is yucky. It's leaving sour taste in the mouth, says Ruth. We can certainly agree on that. That one was a 94-meter 6 from Colin de Gronholm, or sorry, Colin Munro. I think they lost the ball. Now, 7.3. Overs down. Still plenty of time to go. Definitely with shots like that. That one's going to be cut away nicely. Backward point. Another single taken. Will Sutherland cuts it off. And also we have a nice smoky biltong flavour as well. Says Ruth there. I still have to try biltong. Like either from a shop that sells it here in New Zealand or if I ever end up in South Africa, that seems to be one thing that I've been told to try quite often. Also, best cricketer I have seen is Ben Stokes. Says Greg Livingston. Yeah, he's a brilliant all-rounder. And also, he's doing pretty well in the captaincy at the moment for England in that test match series up against Pakistan. Being able to win both of them, that is very hard to do in Pakistan conditions. And if it wasn't for them going at 8 runs and over at points throughout that matchup against Pakistan, the first one, that would have been a draw. So the fact that they were willing to be aggressive enough, risk losing the test match to try and get Pakistan out, very well done by Stokes in his side. Into the 8th over, 46 for 3. So the required run rate is actually still sitting at 10.1, the exact same. Hosian now comes back in. Now Munro loves playing spin when it's the wrong line and length. If he gets it outside of off stump, I think that's where Hosien will be most effective. Do you have the man at deep cover or deep point, though? I'd say man at deep cover is where I would have them if I was Hosien. He's been bowling very well, though. Every over he's bowled, he's got a wicket. Be looking to add to that as well. I'm wearing my vintage David Bowie t-shirt today. Ziggy Stardust. Yeah, I agree. Ben Stokes is a really great player. There's a roof there. And looks like Nate agrees. Is that about the sour cream, Nate, or the biltong? Do let me know. One's going to be a good length, driving it into Pearson. Just a single taken. This is the battle that I think could decide the match. If Hosien can get the wicket of Munro, Brisbane Heat are in a lot of trouble because they're almost into their middle order. Whereas if Munro gets a few runs off Hosien, that might be just the momentum shifter that the Brisbane Heat actually need in this match. We're going to check the odds again. See how they are currently sitting. I would assume dollar-wise, Brisbane Heat $3.20 underdogs. We'll go. Let's see how far off we are. We scroll down. Renegades versus Heat. Oh, no. Okay, I was slightly off. They are $5.25 underdogs at this point in the match. If they lose a wicket, though, that's going to be probably the game-changing moment for them. Definitely if it is Colin Munro. They still need 10.2 and over. I like the Burrows roof, says John there. I've heard good things about those as well. Nate, you doing okay there? What's on your lunch menu today? Here's Ruth. Another single taken. Munro back on strike here. In fact, that was a dot ball, I should say. Monroe. Seen actually going round the wicket, getting it on that good length. Monroe hits it to the leg side. Looks like they'll be pushing for the 2 runs. No, they just get 1. That one at me oldest bro. Back from bro's back from Thailand. Every time he starts work, be blasting out the song by Lee Oscar, Before the Rain, says Nate. And there. So what is your brother doing Thailand, Nate? Is he working over there, or was he just on holiday over there? Do let me know. And best New Zealand cricketer you've ever seen who plays for New Zealand. So best New Zealand cricketer, do you want a current player or an all-time player, Greg? Do let me know. And Bodo is best eaten straight off rice, barbecue, garlic bread, and green salad on vacation. So hopefully you did enjoy it in Thailand. Seems like a nice enough place. Depends on the region you go to, I think, as well. But that can be said about everywhere that you go, can't it? Yes, and on strike. One last ball of the Hoseen over. He's only gone for 4 runs so far. That will be 5. Great over from the youngster. And also currently an all-time. So currently in the New Zealand side, you probably have to go either, see, off current form, you probably wouldn't pick Williamson, even though in past form, you would say Williamson's right up there. Current form, though, you might be looking at one of those bowlers, such as a Trent Bolt, Tim Southey, one of those 2, maybe. If you go on long format, you look at someone like a Wagner as well as another option. But back in the day, bowling-wise, you're probably looking at Sir Richard Hadley. It's really the only one that comes to mind as someone who got a huge amount of wickets at that time period. And then batting-wise, you're probably looking at either Martin Crowe. Who else could you have? Nathan Astle doing? No, well, he was a bit of an all-rounder, wasn't he, Astle? Brendan McCullum. Yep, he kind of changed the way that New Zealand played Test match cricket at one stage, and then now he's doing the exact same thing for England, and it's effective down the leg side from Sutherland. It's going to be a wide. Dan Vittori, another good option there. Watch out for them. Fella Bay boss, says Nate. And also we've got there Glenn Turner, says John. 10.45. So it is slowly starting to tick up. I see one of the commentators doesn't actually have shoes on either. Maybe that's just a common commentary thing. That's a ripper of a ball there from Will Sutherland. Jimmy Pearson tries to play the line and it just ends up cutting away just a little bit later on. I think they're just doing a little bit of a lower pan so that they can see the feet of the people. Yeah, my feet are, I won't show you them too much. But yeah, I got my feet out for the stream. Very comfy on this couch. A lot comfier than the chair, and hopefully it will help with my sore back from sitting on that chair too much. At 9:30 here in Australia, probably gone or quick bite like kebabs. Ooh. And what's the odds for the Heat now? They're up to $6 at the moment. It's just like the last game, same equation, says Aiden. Currently, they need 10.59 per over. Last boundary was 8 minutes ago, 11 balls. That was Colin Munro. They need to keep this one ticking over. I think Munro is the key to success here for the Brisbane Heat, though. If they lose him, Pearson to an extent as well, because he is very good at working the ball around in the field. He's had match-winning innings for them last year for the Brisbane Heat. But, yeah, Munro's got to be there at maybe not the end of the innings, but he's got to get a majority of the way through. He's got to get his 50, go on, maybe get about 75 or 80 runs, Pearson. Get around that 30 mark. That gets you a long way towards your total that you're after here if you're the Heat. But I am glad to see that the rain did not affect this game because it looked patchy for a second there. That's a good Yorker bolt. They take on the single. They do very nicely there. I'm just going to have a quick look again and see what time that early game is on tomorrow. I believe it's a 7:30 start, if I'm not wrong. Maybe. Is it 7:30 p.m. the BBL starts tomorrow? I think it's Melbourne Stars versus Hobart Hurricanes. Yeah, 7:05 when that one's going to be starting. And then the Thunder play the Strikers at 10:15 p.m. So it's going to be an interesting one. I don't know whether we'll be able to cover the Thunder Strikers game straight after Stars Hurricanes, mainly because I will have to sleep at some point before the cricket getting up tomorrow morning on the Saturday morning. So we'll see how we go. We're still feeling fresh. I'll still get a thumbnail made and everything for it just in case. Yeah, if we do end up sleeping at that point, I'm sure we will be able to make up for it for future live streams that we got, such as the Scorchers versus the Sixers that's taken place on this Saturday night alongside some test match cricket. Short ball come off the back of the bat there, I think, for Colin Munro. That'll be the end of the over. And that is going to be 10 overs down 57 for 3. The Renegades, after their 10 overs, had 78. So they're still they're only 21 runs behind now. Now, earlier on, they were 30. And we know how slow they were to get going at the end of their innings for the Melbourne Renegades. I'll just see what the odds are now. Sitting $6 still for the Brisbane Heat to be able to go on to win this game, I believe. Yes, it is. So now they're having their drinks. Yeah, it's an interesting one because Colin Munro, as soon as he goes out and Jimmy Peirson goes out, I don't see them having much left batting-wise. Whereas, to an extent, the Renegades, they still, when they were throwing out like Andre Russell out there on the park, they just showed that they still have plenty more to give. So I'm just going to have a quick look through their lineup as well, because I know they've got their bowlers such as Bartlett. Bartlett can hit a fantastic ball when he's getting it in the middle of the bat. So he will be one to keep an eye on. Other than that, 12% chance that the Brisbane Heat win this game, in fact, is what we've got there. So still to bat, Ross Whiteley, haven't seen too much of him. Basley can hit it all right. Steckity, average with the bat. Xavier Bartlett, like I mentioned, can hit a long ball. Swepson's more of just a swing and have a bit of a dash at it, and then Kuhneman the last man. So they lose another wicket, I think they're in a bit of trouble. If they lose two, which is the two batsmen who's out there at the moment, they're in even more trouble. Yeah, just showing that first wicket of Bryant was dismissed for a duck. It was a brilliant take from his seam. Then it was hit to the leg side by Brown, way up in the sky, and a great take out on the rope by Kane Richardson. And also high again from Ollie. Welcome in again, mate. Hope you're doing well. Do let me know who you think's going to be winning this one. Can't believe next year is the Rugby World Cup in France, says Greg. It's getting close, man. It's like 300 days. In fact, it might be less than 300 days now. I'm going to get you the exact date or exact number of days till we get to see that first match between New Zealand and France. But it's getting closer and closer every single day. Where is it? There it is. 267 days. That's not long at all. 7 a.m. game on the Saturday morning on September the 9th. That's when New Zealand will be playing France. Then Italy, they're going to be playing Namibia at 11 p.m. that night. Also alongside that on the first day, it's going to be Ireland, Romania, Australia, Georgia, England, Argentina. That's the first day. And then the next day, you actually have a few pretty much back to back to back as well, which is great to see. Samoa play Chile in their first game. That's kind of exciting. I did get a Chilean kit from a subscriber of the channel. They actually came and visited yesterday our small town. So we went and said hi, and they did give us Chile's rugby kit. So we have to wear that one, which I know won't impress our Samoan viewers, but this is what it is. If you look at it close enough or from far enough away, it may look like a Samoan kit. Very similar color. Just about to get back underway for the final 10 overs of this match. Tom Rogers back to the bowling crease. Full toss. Peirson goes bang, and he has really gone bang there. That's a great shot from Jimmy Peirson. He's dished him up a pie, and Jimmy said, this one isn't quite hot enough. I'll send it to the boundary to get cooked up by one of the food trucks. Yeah, that's a shot. How far has that gone? 90? We've had a lot of big sixes in this game. I believe that's about the fourth one that's gone more than, or 90 or above in this matchup. We've had a 94-meter six. We've had a 91-meter, a 90 now coming from Jimmy Peirson. Oh, but the Yorker on the money there straight after Tom Rogers. Important that he had a good follow-up. I'm interested to know what that does to the odds. I bet you that puts them down by $1. It does. Now they're $5 underdogs to go on and win this match, the Brisbane Heat. They did take their power surge as something else I should mention. So only 2 fielders allowed outside of the ring, which means there's a lot of spaces open here. Something that the Renegades will have to be careful with. Renegades were 4 for 81. Great shot down the ground. Another boundary for Pearson. Brisbane Heat go down to $3.25 underdogs. Just like that, they've halved it for their chance of winning this game. Great shot, though, from Pearson. Right in behind it. Gave it plenty, sent it on its way. Said, yep, that'll do me just nicely. This is an expensive over already from Rogers. Renegades at this point, they were 4 for 83. He'd actually have one more wicket up their sleeve than the Renegades had at this stage. Slower ball. Pearson tries to go through. There's a man out at deep point. We'll cut it off, but I believe they'll get through for the comfortable 2. And they do. This one's going to go down to the wire. Right, Munro's on strike. In a power surge, he's a 6er out kind of player. So I guess now it's the question of will it be a 6 or will it be an out for this next ball? We will have to wait. Here comes Rogers again. Colin Munro on strike. What does Big Colin do? He smacks it. In fact, it's actually Jimmy Pearson. My apologies. And that's going to go for another 6 runs. Brisbane Heat now $2.40 underdogs. It's changing big time here. And Tonga, the team, might be the one to watch because Israel Folau chosen to play for them, says Greg Livingston. I'm a little bit worried about injuries for Tonga, to be honest, because we saw in that first game, it was Israel Folau, Malakai Fekitoa, and also Charles Piutau all got injured playing for Tonga. And I worry that maybe because they aren't used to the international scene, hopefully by then they've played a few more games under their belt and just get going a little bit more, build that chemistry with the current side. Rogers, that's a good ball, swatted away. Out to deep cover this time. They will only get the single. That'll be the end of the over. Munro will be a bit disappointed that he's not allowed that one. And also we have got their time flies 9 months away to the Rugby World Cup 2023. Yeah, it's getting close. When's the next T20 World Cup? I don't think it's anytime soon, is it? When is the next T20 Cricket World Cup? She's just showing me the final. England winning, but I believe there's not one for another like 3 or 4 years or something like that, because we've now got the ODI World Cup as the next one that's just around the corner. Just showing some of those big shots that Jimmy Pearson was able to hit. He's up to 29 runs off 16, which is why 29 runs off 18 deliveries, in fact. That's why I mentioned how these two are the key wickets. If they can break this partnership, they're in a good position. But if they don't break this partnership, Brisbane Heat have got a decent chance. They're actually, at this point of the innings, only 7 runs behind what the Renegades were on. Kane Richardson into the bowling attack, swatted away by Pearson. Hits it through the field. Another 4 runs. Brisbane Heat are on fire at the moment. And Pearson's loving this power surge. It's been an effective one for them so far. The required run rate is down to 9.74. The Renegades at this point only 4 runs ahead of what the Brisbane Heat were, and they've got an extra wicket up their sleeve now, Brisbane. Pearson looking to get a quick fire 50, only 17 away, but Richardson, he's got a few tricks up his sleeve. Is this going to be one of them? Yep, nicely worked to the leg side. Jimmy Pearson. They'll just take the single. Well bowled. Right, Munro's on strike. T20 World Cup is only 2 years away. Is it? So is it they go ODI World Cup, T20 World Cup, ODI World Cup, T20 World Cup each year rather than the 4-year stint? I always thought it was 2 years in between them, but I could be very wrong for that one. I guess I'm thinking of the Commonwealth Games, the Olympics, how there's 2 years between them, perhaps. I'll do a quick Google. My phone is running slow, though, as it is on 1%. T20 World Cup next. Here we go. Next one, 2024 Cricket World Cup. And the hosts are going to be the West Indies and the USA. Big full toss. Hard through the covers. Munro's looking for the boundary. And he's got it. This is a brilliant power surge at the moment, similar to what we saw for the Melbourne Renegades, but they've chosen to do it a bit earlier on in their innings to relieve some of the pressure. Renegades bowlers just don't seem to be able to get it right. There was a full toss from Richardson, missing his line. And now, currently 11.3 overs. That's the 52-run partnership of 33 balls. Very well batted by these two, and they're actually sitting on the same runs as the Renegades at this point of their innings. Big swing, no ding from Munro. Gets a big smile on the face of Richardson. Munro just disappointed. He knows that that was the ball to maybe smack out through cover instead. Did end up going after it though. Sitting on 33 off 28 balls. I think I will need glasses at some stage. Good ball. Nice shot from Munro. Actually hoiked it away to the leg side. Aaron Finch out there on the boundary, cuts it off. Be kept to the 2 runs. Munro will once again have the strike. And for the first time in this innings, the Brisbane Heat have more runs on the board at this stage than the Melbourne Renegades have. So the fact that they were able to catch up so much, that will give them confidence. The Melbourne Renegades took their power surge, I believe, in the next over, or one of those overs just a little bit after that. So that's where they got their big boost. But the last few overs, Melbourne Renegades, they really slowed down. That was due to losing all of their wickets in quick succession. It looks like they're going to take on the single direct hit. Munro's out here. He's been run out. I can call it right now. He was out by about a metre. Great work from Tom Rogers. And the Kiwi will be disappointed because that's the last thing they needed at the end of their power surge with 2 set batsmen at the crease as a run out trying to take the risky single. Right, they're going to check this one. This won't take long. Munro is out by a metre. At least, maybe even a metre and a half. Where is he? There's the ball. Colin Munro. Ball hits the stumps. About a metre or so Munro had to go. Get there, and that is going to be his wicket. Right, if they can get Pearson now, that changes this game frantically. So we're going to have another look and see what the TAB thought of that wicket and whether they've decided it's worth boosting the Brisbane Heat higher than $2.65. Last ball of the power surge, though, it will actually be Jimmy Pearson who will be facing. Yep, Brisbane Heat up to $4 now. That one falling, but 79 runs still needed off 48 deliveries. Still plenty of time. 8 overs left in a T20 game can feel like an eternity for the side bowling. Definitely if you're not getting your line and length right. But now, making his way out to the middle, Whiteley, like I mentioned, I haven't seen this man bat before. Looks like he hasn't got any sponsors on his bat, which is sometimes a good thing, sometimes a bad thing. Sometimes it means that the bat is that good and it's been made custom for him and it can do the job, or it means that the man just can't get a bat sponsor because he can't bat. That's another option, maybe. Right. He's a left-hander. That will add a little bit more deception into the bowling attack. Majip about to bowl to them. Does end up dragging it down a little bit there. Majip hits him out through deep cover. Single taken. Still 78 runs to go. Munro disappointed. I mentioned how he had to go on to get about 70. Although he managed to get him the 30s. And then I guess him and Pearson have now switched. And it's become the case of Jimmy Pearson needs to be the player to go on and get 70. Which he certainly could. He's already almost halfway there. Giving himself space. Tim Majip hits it straight to the fielder. No run taken. They don't take the quick single that time. Munro just having a chat with Bartlett. And also we have got their per over need 10. They do, but that's still doable for the Brisbane Heat. Yes, they've used their power surge. They just need to make sure they're still keeping maybe a boundary and over. Can be relatively tricky to do. Definitely with a new batsman at one side of the crease. Pearson's going to be that man who has to probably attack a little bit more. It's again going to be worked down the ground nicely. It's a single again. ticking over the runs at the moment. So 2 deliveries to go. Pearson back on strike. Looks like a bit of a gap there behind the stumps. He's tried to whip it there. It hasn't quite worked out. I think down kind of fine leg way. If he gets a ramp shot out here, Jimmy Pearson. Risky because they've just lost that wicket. But if Majib gets the wrong line, little ramp over your head, there's space available. Oh, I thought he was going to go for it. Instead, he's kind of set up for a sweep shot, but played it down the ground for one. The man at long off. At the end of the Majib over. 3 overs down for him. 22 runs he's gone for, yet to pick up a wicket. That's not saying he won't be able to get one later. As we can see, the Renegades have a massive boost in terms of the runs. They were up to 109 at this point. That is due to that power surge. And I believe they still had another over left of their power surge at this point. That would have been that over that went for, I believe it was 22 runs off Xavier Bartlett. A very costly one. And did you see the news on French Laporte? I just seen it now on Rugby Analyst channel. A hectic French rugby. Yeah, it's not looking good for them at the moment because the All Blacks, one of their leading sponsors, has also been found as a part of that kind of corruption side of things. So it's a tricky scenario that now they've got to try and work out, I guess, what their plan is. Do they keep them as a sponsor? Will that look bad for New Zealand? So all these questions. It's going to be hit to the leg side. It's gone into that gap that I mentioned was there for the last over, but it wasn't as much of a gap this time. Andre Russell, I should mention, is going to be the man bowling now. And also, Hamish, I think Brisbane Heat win if Jimmy Pearson did 77, says Ryan. I think he's got a decent chance overall. Jimmy Pearson, like we've already seen him bat pretty well throughout his first 25 deliveries. He needs more of the strike, though, I would say, in this last 7 overs. That's a shot and a half. Almost went through the gap. I keep on saying a shot and a half. They run there for 2. Nice work between the wickets and True Boss, says Nate. But yeah, it's probably not what the French rugby wanted just before a Rugby World Cup in their country. Because, you know, it makes it a little bit worse for them. But yeah, be interesting to see where they go from here for the upcoming near future. Andre Russell, slower ball, swatted away. They might sneak themselves a single. Do they know Finch was able to get enough of a hand on it that they don't risk it? Pearson sitting on 41. In fact, they did decide to risk it. Whiteley will now be on strike. In a conversation with Nick Maddinson going, just trying to make sure the field is set the way that he needs it. You don't want to take too many risks here in terms of going to attacking with your field unless it's part of a tactic to try and get that wicket. But for now, Whiteley, I feel like it's just line and length. Get it on his stumps and give him a tough time. And that's outside of off stump. Going to hit it out to deep cover. Might consider looking for 2 here. Yes, they do good running between the wickets there for the Brisbane Heat. That will annoy Andre Russell. 2 balls left of the over. Sitting currently, I believe he was 1 for 3 off his first over. Got himself that wicket. Now sitting 1 for 10 off 1.4. They are just moving around the field nicely. Another shot glided down the ground for 1. Pearson will now have the strike for the final ball of the over. It brings up the 100 runs for the Brisbane Heat, though. And with those 2 early wickets of Bryan and Brown, it looked like maybe 100 was going to be a tough amount to try and get to here for the Brisbane Heat. But they have been able to build up those little partnerships, whether it's Munro, whether it's Pearson. Just getting enough runs ticking over to put pressure on the Renegades bowlers. That's a good ball. That was well bowled by Russell, but Pearson got the bat to it. Manages to hit it away, and that is going to be the end of the over. 14 overs down, 101 for 4. Whiteley, like I mentioned, needs to feed the strike to Pearson, who is hitting the ball a lot cleaner at the moment. It's not over yet for the Brisbane Heat, and the reason I say that is once Xavier Bartlett goes to the middle, that man could hit 3 sixes in an over and completely change this contest. although 3 sixes and an over, you could argue that still might not get them to where they need to be. And Hamish, is possible for Brisbane Heat to win. It is for them at the moment. I'm going to check the odds again. You'll notice I've said that quite a bit throughout these live streams. I am curious, though, to see how they change, because I guess it gives me a better indication of how I guess, read the game in the future. So currently, looking at the Brisbane Heat versus Melbourne Renegades game, the Heat, I believe, will be about $6 underdogs. My phone just died. I guess we will never know. It's going to be sliding through. Get themselves the single. I'm going to have to plug it into the iPad charger. Also, James Basley can also play shots, says Ryan. And actually, he's the next man to the crease, isn't he? And Nate, you're spot on with kebabs. They are awesome if they're done right. Chicken beef, all lamb with good minty yogurt sauce. The Sixers going to start coming, says Roof. I think Pearson, probably out of these two, is the man who can hit the Sixers. Whiteley, like I mentioned, I haven't really seen enough of him to know what he does with the bat. He's going to be facing off against Hussein. He's been putting it in a good line and length, drifting it nicely through the air. It's a nice flight on it. And wasn't there a James someone a while back who played for New Zealand? Refresh my memory, please someone. I believe that would have been James Neesham, but Jimmy Neesham also, as he was known, unless you're going further back. And I think there was a James Marshall. No. Do we have a James further back in the day? I know James Neesham, but Jimmy Neesham's what he goes by. It's bowling. Pearson's gone. Hassim picks up his third wicket in his debut in the BBL. That wicket's a game changer. And my phone's just now fired back up after being flat. It's already on 10%. That's charged big time. But that's going to change the odds massively. Jimmy Pearson just watches that ball. Doesn't hit it where he wanted to, though. He was trying to glide it to the offside, looking for the single out through cover. Wasn't there to hit it out there, though. And does mean he's dismissed. That is a big wicket. Very nicely done. James Franklin, that's the one. Have we had any other James back in the day? James. Can't think of them at the moment. And also now Brisbane Heat will lose. Says, right, there is a chance that we may see them lose this game now that they have lost Jimmy Pearson. They've sent out Basley to the middle. They can't panic here, though. Just because they've got two new batsmen at the crease doesn't mean it's over yet. James Taylor, says Ryan. Right. Basley on strike to an informed bowler. He's trying to get himself a few more. Must be, says John there. Go like this. Go like that. Go down and check the odds. I'd say Brisbane Heat now $10 underdog, surely. Then nice Yorker. Dot ball. No, he's missed it. He's misfielded, unfortunately. Oh, what the singer, says John. And Ross Whiteley is also play shot, says there from Ryan. Yeah, I haven't actually seen Whiteley bat before. But now Brisbane Heat are $9 underdogs. Xavier Bartlett's still to come. That's why I'm not completely writing off the Brisbane Heat yet, because we saw what he did last year in a game with some big shots. Nicely bowled. They're not going to take the single there. Another dot ball. Hussein, how many of these young spinners have had brilliant debuts into the BBL this year? We saw Naveed bowling for the Sydney Sixers. He was very good. Also seen a few other guys who have changed teams in the past and now are bowling even better than they were for their old sides. There'll be a single to close out the over. Whiteley will retain the strike. 105 for 5. So they need 12.4 runs per over. 2 sixes would almost get them there. 3 fours would almost get them there too, but they're going to need some big shots just around the corner here for the Brisbane Heat. Up to $10 underdogs now. At least it's not the $100 underdogs, though, that the Sydney Sixers found themselves as for last night's game. Still a little bit of a hope. Best way of describing it. Did my phone just die again? It did. It said it was on 15%. So I was like, yeah, she'll be right. But now it's gone dead again. So we're going to have to deal with that. We're going to have to turn her back on. The phone, that is. And put it on charge. There we go. Kane Richardson. He's got 2 overs left. We know he's going to be bowling out. Already gone the 18, like I mentioned. Now, pitch up delivery. Thought about throwing down the stumps there, Nick Madison, but hangs on to the ball. Decided it wasn't worth the risk. Whiteley sitting on 8 off 8. Basley sitting on 1 off 1. Bartlett, Stickety. Kuhneman's actually been promoted up the order a little bit, and Swepson would be number 11 in the batting order. So Bartlett and maybe Stickety to an extent are your 2 big hitters once there's another wicket falling. If there's not another wicket falling, it would mean that they're probably going all right here, the Brisbane Heat. But that is a shot that didn't look confident. They're going to be able to race through and get themselves the single. Good work in behind the stumps as well from Sam Harper, who actually lost his footing in the process. Right, Whiteley on strike again. Hamish by Sam Hazlitt didn't play. Says Ryan. I would assume either injury or just the fact that they didn't have room in the team for him. Or has he switched sides? Is he at a different team? Sammy Hazlitt this year. No, I think he's still at the Heat, isn't he? And Richardson now. Shot to the leg side. It's lofted, but it does go straight out to the man. So Whiteley looks like now he's starting to consider speeding up. Sam Harper has to try very hard to jump for that one. Wasn't happy with the throw. Fraser McGurk saying it came out. Slipped a little bit. Sam Harper's not too happy. Saying he'd rather have it bounce, I think, there, rather than have it going in the air from Fraser McGurk. I think it just slipped. Yeah, just slipped out of his hand. Almost went over the top of Harper. 4 big swing, no hit on that one for Basley. Run rate's continuing to creep up, currently at 13.1 runs per over needed for the Brisbane Heat. They're showing tomorrow. It's going to be the Melbourne Stars taking on the Hobart Hurricanes, and then the Sydney Thunder. They'll be going head-to-head with the Adelaide Strikers as the evening game. Hamish, why will Prestwich doesn't play? Is he playing for the Heat? Maybe it was because he used to play for the Renegades and he didn't want to play up against his old side. But yeah, I'm not too sure of the selection process for the Heat, but I assume it's more of the case if they've got a 20-man squad and they can only play 11 of them. So some guys are going to miss out. And this week it has been Hazlitt, it has been Prestwich, but they might sneak into the next lineup. There are games back to back to back, kind of only 3 or 4 days apart for these sides. So you got to make sure everyone's staying fresh. You are rotating your squad effectively. Basley still on strike to Richardson, who's really getting in his head at the moment. That's a great ball. Nicely hit to the lead side. They take the single. It'll be the end of the 16th over. 109 for 5 now for Brisbane. Richardson, he's still got 1 more. Then they need some boundaries. That was actually only a 3-run over, which is not enough. And do they still have the 2-over power play? They don't. They actually used it as their 11th and 12th. And Hamish Usman Khawaja is back. Brisbane Heat will win the matches. Says Ryan. He can be a game changer, Uzi. Did that for the Thunder thoroughly throughout BBL 11. And they've also got Marnus Labuschagne returning into their side in the near future after the Test series. So that will be something else that gives them a nice boost. Just showing the run out of Colin Munro. That could have been match changing for the Brisbane Heat. Colin Munro not getting through for that single. I think he knew he was out when he ran it. He was disappointed that he went for it. Don't know whether it was his or Pearson's call, but someone got it very wrong. And the other person didn't say no. Majid now bowling, steps across. Big shot there from Basley. 6 runs. Great shot. Moving them up to 115 now. So, of course, you know what we've got to do? We've got to check the odds. See how they've changed. That is a great shot from Basley, though. Step back in his crease. Smacks it hard. The longest six of the day, 101 meters. Got a fair bit of that one. Majid puts it in the slot. Bazley strikes it beautifully. And as we have got there, are you using the $2 Internet Cafe PC or everything on capital letters, Ryan? Says Nate there. It is a good question. Everything has been in caps today, Ryan. Maybe he's excited because it's a Brisbane Heat game. That's a wide ball from Majid, but he stepped across, so it counts as a dot. Umpire looks like he goes to the gym a little bit, to be honest. Right, Bazley trying to free the arms a little bit more here. Steps across. Oh, the stump lit up. I swear that hit the stumps, but it was too heavy and the bail didn't come off. That's what I think anyway. I'll have to see a replay of this. Or did it? No, maybe not. Does it hit the stump? Oh, it was close to it anyway. It's going to be quite wide from Majid. They've said he stepped across enough to be a legal delivery. And yes, Hamish, you are correct, says Ryan in there as well. Majid. Oh, what a ball that. Oh, Sammy Harper. Once again, trying to get a bit cheeky. They're going to go upstairs for this one. See whether or not Bazley was in his ground. Brisbane Heat $11 underdogs. Now with a possible wicket falling. Should be not out. I think I just read from Bazley. Maybe excitedly happy. And he wants to stand out, eh? Says Nate. He already stands out enough. I can tell you that much. See, bowled by Majid. And caps button jam, says John. I always have that when I try and type A. I accidentally turn the caps lock on. This is going to be the slowest stumping in history here. Nah, he had the bat down. Going to be not out. They will get on with the game again. Yeah, he's fine. Bat's down. We don't need to look at that 15 times. The bat's rested on the ground. And it's not out. Right, Bazley. Last ball of Majib's over. Oh, it was almost in the slot. End of the over now. 17.3 runs per over required now in the Brisbane Heat. They bumped themselves up to $16 underdogs now. Which means it's not impossible, but it's improbable. It's possibly not going to happen for them. But they hit the ball hard enough in the next couple overs. Whiteley also needs to just stand and bang. The best way of describing it, if we want to use a UFC terminology, stand up there, hold your ground, and smack that ball all the way to the boundary. Andre Russell will be bowling. He doesn't like getting hit to the fence. He often hits people to the fence, but it's a different situation as you end up in, or a different situation when you are actually the one receiving those sixes against you. And Hamish, all up to Whiteley and Bazley, that's true. The moment these two, although I'll add Bartlett in the mix because Bartlett seems to be a guy who can come and face one ball and smack it for six. That's a nice shot. Lobbed over the top of the field. Looks like it's not quite going to make it to the boundary, though, for Brisbane. They do just get themselves the 2 runs. And those of you who've got there go, oh, my guy enjoys Ryan. Says Nate. Right, another ball that for Whiteley's got to be 6 or out. You don't want to see him go out on a ball. That's, I don't know whether Andre Russell probably better off bowling either a Yorker or a shocking delivery to see if he goes after it. Outside of off stump by miles. That's the Yorker, and it was outside of off stump. And he smacked him away to the boundary almost for 4 runs. I think that was brilliant work in the field from Jono Wells to keep it alive. Gets the clap from Andre Russell. And yeah, I think he just kept that 1 to 3 runs. So they got a Richardson over. They've got a Russell over. And I guess they've got a Sutherland over. Might be the other bowler that they end up going with. And I believe that's all right from Wells. Yep, he's done well. Pun intended. Very nice work from Jono Wells in the field. Right, Bazley's on strike. 9 runs off 11 deliveries. Russell just resetting his field, making a few changes here. Wants to make sure that they've got it correct. Once again, this is almost boundary or out town for Bazley. He's got a big 6 on him. We saw him get 101 meters before. In the slot, it's gone over the stumps though. So it could have been the wicket, slightly slower ball from Russell using that experience. Bazley disappointed. He's trying to put absolutely everything into every ball as it comes along. They're just showing a replay of John O'Wells with the fielding from a different angle. I believe it was all good. Kept it to the 3 runs. 18.8 needed an over. Hit to the leg side, just tapping it. You'd have to think that they're going for 2 here. Yes, they are. They get through relatively comfortably. Nice work from Brisbane, although 2 runs a ball just isn't enough. I think Brisbane Heat will come back. Says Ryan. They've got to go soon if they're going to. I think is the best way of describing it. You got 19 runs per over required. And also 50 runs. Start smashing it, lads. 3 wickets left. Exactly right. You've got, or in fact, you've got 5 wickets left. Better ball from Russell. Pitched it up a bit more. Couldn't quite scoop underneath that one. Okay. 1 ball left. Whiteley on strike. 5 wickets. And I was with hey, bro. Says Daira, welcome in again, mate. Hope you are doing very well. Hamish, I think Brisbane Heat will come back next match. I see. Yeah, next match, probably a better chance for Brisbane. So this one may have just got a little bit too far away from them, unfortunately. Just with where we are in the match. They needed to keep their Munro-Pearson partnership going. Because now it's gone. You've got 2 batsmen who are going at just under a run a ball for Bazley and just over a run a ball for Whiteley. Needed someone doing a little bit more, someone going bigger. And also we have got there, bro, I'm late on working, says Dodros. Hopefully you enjoyed. That's a massive shot there from Whiteley. It's gone onto the roof. That's another moment that they left a little bit too late for in that Andre Russell over. How many did they get off it? 7, 9, 12, 15. 15 still not enough of these last 2 overs to be able to win them the game. So that tells you how many runs they need. It's quite a few. Still need themselves another 38 runs of 12 balls, 19 runs per over from here on out. If they get themselves 37 runs, we go to a super over, which would be quite fun for the 3rd game of the competition. I believe we're going to get at least 1 super over throughout the BBL. Might as well be early on. Who do they give the ball to, though? I believe Kane Richardson will have either the last or the second last. He's brilliant with his change-ups. So I would give him the 20th, and I would give Sutherland the 19th. That one went 98 meters from Bazley. We've seen, in fact, sorry, Whiteley was the man who hit that one. We've actually seen some very good 6s throughout this matchup. Right. Bazley on strike. Richardson's bowling. That's going to put a bit of pressure on Will Sutherland to bowl the final over, but he is a capable bowler. We've seen that in the past. He actually closed out another game for the Renegades very well that I can think of. Can't remember who was playing. That's going to be a nicely bowled delivery from Richardson. Just the single off it. Now the required run rate, it will go up probably about 20.7. That's the randomest guess I could come up with. It will actually possibly be higher than that. But we'll see a 20.7's close. 20.2. It's like a game of like, what is that one now? You got to be closest. Wheel of Fortune, isn't it? That was Hamish Russell ever other over, says Ryan. That is true, actually. Andre Russell still with 1 over up his sleeve. They may go back to him. Although I don't know how happy he'll be with going for a 6 off his final ball. Plus he went for 15 off that over, which could be a little bit risky at the end of the game. But then Sutherland, who hasn't bowled yet, or hasn't bowled many overs yet, probably won't want the responsibility. Another big yawn. Only another 10 balls to go on this matchup, ladies and gentlemen. Tomorrow we are going to be doing the Stars versus the Hobart Hurricanes. That game starts at 7 p.m. New Zealand time. Somewhere around there. I think it's 7:05. Big full toss. Hit straight back down the ground. Well cut off there. Finch just runs it in a little bit. They'll get back for the 2 runs. So far, that's going to be 4 runs off of the Richardson over. And now if I was a betting man, I'd say the Brisbane Heat probably sitting at approximately $31 to win this game, maybe even more than that. In fact, they may have even taken away the option for them to be able to win. At this point, wide ball, going after it, hits it straight to the man at cover, and they take the single again. Right. They're almost at the stage of needing 36 off the last over here. They need a 6, and they also need a boundary. Getting 23 off the last over, don't get me wrong, that's very tricky to do, but you're a bit closer than if you don't get a couple boundaries. Even 2 boundaries is just not coming home, or it's not coming home to Queensland by the looks of it, says Sebastian. Yeah. Seems like Brisbane. Oh, that's gone very high, though, but I don't think it's gone for 6. Going to be a chance in the field, not quite taken by the youngster Hassan. Probably the first thing he's done wrong today, even though that one was going to be a very tricky catch. They managed to run the 2. 6 here, you need a 6. 4 doesn't quite cut it for you. You need 6 runs off this next delivery to even have a slight slither of a hope of getting it done in the final over. If not, I think it's going to be done. I think it will be a super over, says Ryan. And there, I think it will be a super over for the bowler, Andre Russell. I think he's going to pick up a wicket or 2. Or Will Sullivan, depending on who they go with. That's a good ball. Head over. Oh, no, not quite taken by Nick Madison. Cuts it off, though. He's disappointed that he wasn't able to pouch that one. He put the hand up. Richardson still has a smile on his face. He doesn't pick up a wicket today. 0 wickets, 30 runs off him, but he's still been relatively economical for this matchup. No, I don't think so, Ryan, says John there. So 7.5 and over. It looks like it's actually going to be Tom Rogers, maybe, who gets the final over. Yeah, it is. He actually has closed out a few overs for the Hobart Hurricanes in the past. He's gone for 13 runs per over at this point, but he's been left with 30 runs on the board. If he messes this up, they will not be happy, I would think. But yeah, Brisbane Heat now $101 underdogs. The chance of this happening for the Heat is extremely slim, definitely because if you take to consideration there's a wicket that falls, all of a sudden you need 5 sixes in a row to be able to win the game. I think this one's coming home to the Renegades. They had some good players in this match, including Nick Madison. That catch would have been icing on the cake. Just couldn't quite take it. It was just a bit too far above his head. He had a second grab at it, but didn't have the luck of Brody Couch. Was able to deflect it off his shin, off his shoulder, and then still into his hands. I was like, John, I think so is super over, says Ryan. Okay, Ryan, says John. I feel like that's a good answer, John. Andre Russell will do, Hamish. No, it's Tom Rogers who's bowling this final over. They get themselves the 2 runs. They're going to have to run it hard. It's good work from Sam Harper with the gloves, but now they need 6 sixes still. In fact, for them to get to a super over, I don't think it's actually physically possible unless we have some no balls and wides here. Laugh and face from Nate also 149, says Knob Mum, for the amount that they get. Probably not a mile off there. You're saying there'll still be 5 down, I do see as well. I also hope you are feeling all right, Knob Mum. I hope you have been resting well and you're slowly getting back on your feet again. Down the ground. That'll just be 1. He's hit it too well. Imagine 5 minutes with a Ryan comment. Oh, wait, we can do that. Or sorry, 5 minutes without a Ryan comment. Only 5 minutes to go in the matchup, though, so we couldn't do that. 4 balls remaining. They've done well over the last 2 overs to keep runs ticking over, but it was those overs where they were a bit quieter. The dot balls were really costing them. Rogers so far, he's been bowling not too badly. 4 runs off him. Another yawn. 4 balls left. Good Yorker again from Rogers. Great shot down the ground. It's almost too good, but the Renegades able to cut it off. Every run is important, as they're showing there on the field. I burned my lips when I saw Kit Kat time, says Nate. You burned your lips when you saw Kit Kat time. I really do enjoy a Kit Kat. Did you burn it on the Kit Kat by eating it that quickly, or did you burn it on like a coffee or a tea, Nathan? Yeah, I think I'm pretty much back to normal. That's good news. You've been able to recover twice as well. You're a trooper. Now Rogers, slower ball. Well bowled. Just the single down the ground. Only looking to try and get to 150. These two, I mean, Whiteley to an extent has done pretty decently, 27 off 17, but now's not really the time to be on that kind of number. He needs to be on 40 off 17. Basley at the other end, 19 off 19. You wonder if he had gone out early, would Bartlett have been able to put in some bigger shots? Just all these questions that we will never know the answer to. Rogers, second last ball, wide outside of off stump. Hit down the ground. Straight to the field, another single. Will Sullivan throws it back in. And now just one more left in this matchup. So I believe the plan is to do the first match taking place tomorrow between the Melbourne Stars and the Hobart Hurricanes. That will be game 1. I'm not sure whether or not we're doing Thunder versus Adelaide Strikers yet. Will depend on, I guess, how tired I am and what time I find out I have to get up in the morning. I was drinking coffee. I missed out. Got distracted by timeout. Says Nate there. That's a shot. Although he hasn't got all of it. Wicket. Rogers gets the wicket off the final ball. His only wicket of his spell. But a wicket nonetheless. And that will end the innings. 144 for 5. The Heat finished this game unable to get the victory. The Melbourne Renegades, they pick up their first win of the year, looking to continue throughout this BBL season. But nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for tuning into this live stream. If you did enjoy, as always, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. And as always, it's going to be an awkward ending because I now have to go over there to end the live stream. So pretty much that's what we're going to do. I actually set up a second camera angle as well. That was going to have the full couch on show just in case I had a couple of guests. I might as well show you guys that angle while we're at it. So what we're going to do, so I'm going to stand up and walk this way slightly. I'm still attached to the couch, unfortunately. Right, we're going to go this way. What I did have was my second camera angle, which was, hang on. But in the end, we did just end up with that one. But nonetheless, thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you all for tomorrow.